Hello everyone and welcome to this incredibly exciting event. I am joined by Matt and Rich for the Warmachine Autumn Preview 2026. How are we feeling?
Doing good. Who are you?
I'm Stu. Hello, I'm a new face here at Warmachine. I'm also known by my other alias, The Narrative Painter, and I've got the incredibly exciting job of joining Warmachine as a social content creator, which is very exciting.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm
Quick
touched.
drop. Follow him on Instagram.
What's good for me is good for you, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Incredible stuff. So we're going to be looking at some amazing stuff tonight, and we really appreciate everyone tuning in. How are you feeling?
Very good, very excited. There's a lot of stuff here that we've been knowing about for a while and we've not been able to share, but now we can share a good chunk of that. So
Well, some of it.
some of it.
Yeah, not
There's
all of
always
it.
some surprises.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Got to
Always
keep a
got to
little
keep
bit.
something back.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
How are
yeah.
you feeling?
I'm feeling good actually. No, so I was really tired today. My chihuahuas woke me up at 5 in the morning because there was a pigeon in the garden or something. But
In fairness, they got to defend their realm.
correct.
Yeah.
It was an unwelcome start to the day. It was about 2.5 hours ahead of schedule,
Love
which
it.
is yeah. But getting here, running through this deck, knowing I'm going to be chatting with you guys and the rest of the team that are here to share all this stuff, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
You don't need caffeine when you've got the dream.
Absolutely.
Don't need caffeine when you've got the dream.
When you've
I
got
love
the
it.
dream.
Yeah, that's
there
a
we
t-shirt,
go.
isn't
There
it?
we
Yeah.
go. So,
Should we kick some stuff off?
let's kick some
All
stuff
right.
off.
Caffeine
So-
Dreams, that's the name of the difficult second album, isn't it?
Caffeine, well, yeah. The first one went #1, but we're going to go harder for the second one.
Yeah,
More
we've got to go
interpretive.
deep. Yeah, we've got to go deep.
We'll kick in just a bit of, I would say housekeeping, but it's exciting releases just before we start on the Men Off piece. So Drago is out now, so awesome model.
You
Like,
can never get
absolutely
tired of
awesome.
looking at it.
It's so cool. Good paint job, Matt.
Thank you very
Incredible.
much.
This is yours. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I had a bit of a panicky moment. There was a few kind of
There's like
paints
2
and
or 3
repaints.
iterations of Drago.
Someone asked me and said, "What's the recipe for the ghost on the back?" And I'm like, I could not possibly tell you.
Blue.
You need an art historian restorer to kind of go through all the layers of paint to kind of get that perfect color mix. But yeah,
Came out incredible, though.
Came out
Amazing.
really well, yeah.
The reds are so poppy. Like,
Yeah.
well,
like
red's
so
my
poppy.
favourite colour.
Yeah.
So,
We can tell.
Yeah,
We
I
can
love a
tell.
bit
It
of
looks
red,
insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, Drago is out now. So if you haven't got it, go and grab it, and it's a massive impact for your old Umbre teams. It really makes a big difference.
On a table.
Oh, so good.
Oh, he's a bad man, isn't he?
Absolute
yeah.
bad man.
Yeah.
From front to back.
Yeah, he's not the only one that's come out recently as well. So we cannot forget the final Fame box. This is my personal favourite.
Be still my beating heart, honestly.
Like they are so good.
Personal favourite.
Personal favourite. Yeah, I like it,
Trending
yeah.
on all platforms, personal favourite. Incredible.
I mean, this last box is so
I
cool.
got you, China. Don't you worry. Hashtag favourite.
Hashtag favourite. We love it.
Yeah.
There's so many cool parts of this box. So the Cut of Shadows out released today. Grab this one, and obviously the big guy, the final box is coming as well. So this is the second box, and then the third box is on its way as well. So
We just, oh.
all in.
That
yeah.
was codename Crowny.
Yeah, Codename Crowny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it added so many cool bits like the Merciless. We went over it all. You know,
Yeah.
so many cool bits in this bit that play for all Fame. But yeah, you've seen all the army boxes for Fame now.
Yeah.
But there's still a few surprises.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
spoil too
And
much.
how do you think it's going to go down when that third box hits?
I think it's going to be pretty good. There's some key bits, the hollowed in there. There's some really iconic pieces that just add to the army. But I think
There's some real
everyone's
linchpin,
seen it.
yeah.
I think it's really cool. And I
Yeah.
think some of the stuff we showed Men Off today shows how we've been receiving feedback and how we may do things differently a little bit. So
Oh,
it's exciting.
okay.
Yeah.
That was a truly effortless
It's
transition.
not bad to
That was flawless.
do this bit.
Well, this is part of the reason why we're here, isn't it? Protector of Menoth. Covenant of the Flame.
Covenant of the Flame.
Love it. Yeah. So
It's a hot topic.
well
gonna
played,
be the
sir.
whole way
Well
through,
played.
yeah.
Love it. Love
We
it.
never stopped.
Yeah.
There's no off switch.
So we've got a whole bunch of the dev team here. So we're going to be kind of hot swapping people in and out and talking about all things Covenant of the Flame, including showing off some wonderful art and of course some great minis and maybe even talking about a few of the rules as well. But we do have a video that we want to share with you first and foremost. So if China, you can cue the video up. Then
Protector of Menoth are one of the most iconic factions within all of Warmachine. When the game originally released 20 plus years ago, there were 4 original factions: Signar, Kador, Crix, and the Protectorate. So seeing the Protectorate come back to the game means that we've got all 4 of those original factions back. Easily the most requested army that we've had to return to the game, bar nothing else.
If I go back to the earliest Warmachine art I saw, it had a Crusader on the front cover smashing bits off of a Signar warjack. If I think about the sort of fires of salvation burning around, there's so much that makes it leap off the page. So the Protectorate is a theocracy that's formed in the aftermath of a Signaran civil war. It's something where the faithful, the believers in the creator of man, the lawgiver, Menoth, all congregate. And it's really where this very devout people form their nation within very tight confines imposed upon them by the Signarans. Now, in secret, they build armies. You know, their labourjacks become warjacks. They secretly train their militia into crusading soldiers. And at that stage, they're really ready to go and launch crusades to unite the faithful all around them. But they want to spread the word of the lawgiver to everybody. The Northern Crusade failed. Severius died in a Scorn assault. And then in the aftermath of that, you see the various different factions and this sort of very tempestuous political situation really explode as a result of those different events. And ultimately, that results in Fiora, the priestess of the flame, being forced into exile. And then the only people really left behind in the Protectorate as a result of that are an order of exemplar knights who are protecting this, very much this skeleton of a nation. The leader of this army is Fiora. She was the priestess of the flame. She's now the marshal of the Flame Guard. She was the leader of the Temple Flame Guard, who are ostensibly the defenders of the Protectorate. She was exiled as a result of different political instability and kind of a confrontation in the city where she wanted to stop the exodus of the faithful away from the Protectorate. She lost that and fled, or was forced away, to Alkia, having walked ancient roads, and eventually where she found the old cities, the first cities of mankind. What was originally exile became a pilgrimage. She discovered old scripture that really taught her different views of what the Protectorate had come to believe about Menoth, had come to believe about the original belief system that was structured in there. Not dramatically different, but a few things that were slightly different to how the Protectorate in its sort of theocracy had begun to evolve. She begins to get a congregation of people. That's where we suddenly see this nation go from ashes to actually being embers and then flames again once more. And her new movement is the Covenant of the Flame.
So in Warmachine you have factions and then you have armies. So factions are kind of more important on the narrative level in the sense that they represent whole nations within the Iron Kingdoms, and then there are multiple armies that usually work for a faction or will fight for a faction. So with the Protectorate of Menoth, that's the nation, and then the Covenant of the Flame is the first army that we've seen emerge for that nation.
Covenant of the Flame is the brand new version of the Protector of Menoth army. It's one of the most popular armies. We constantly get asked about it, and we've been working on it for such a long time, and I'm so happy to be able to talk about it now, and I'm really excited for everyone to see what we've done with this army. But yeah, it's everything you love about Menoth, but with a new, fresh package.
So alongside Fiora herself, we're going to see some returning characters and some new. We have loyalists. Fyra is a great example of that, Malachus as well. We also have a newcomer, Stalos. I'm very excited for people to see Stalos' lore. I think he's super interesting. He's a traitor who's found Leaf once more. There's lots I'm quite excited about seeing, and maybe a couple of surprises yet to come.
We realised that Menoth probably haven't progressed that much. They've been going through a period of quite a regression, in terms of their nation state has been kind of seriously damaged. There's not really a lot of technological advancement that's happened. There's a lot of reliance on old technology, and I think I quite like that from an aesthetic point of view because it ties in with it's always worked, why wouldn't you have faith that it still worked? So what we were able to do was actually double down and focus on what is the material that we're making these models in. So for us to kind of look at some of the older models that historically were only available in metal, and knowing that we're working in a different material now, we're able to get a lot closer to that original artistic intent of Menoth because of the modern materials that we're using now. I'm in love with the Crusader heavy warjack. I just think that we've got the proportions perfect. The angle of the shoulder pads, the shape of them, the overall silhouette. This thing is a hulking bullet of fiery faith. I really like what we've done with the Reclaimers, but it does come down to the Temple Flame Guard. When we put them out on the table, when we're playtesting this, and you're just seeing ranks and ranks of these dudes with their golden helmets and their tabards and their spears and shields, yeah, that's money, that is. I love it.
I actually really love Fiora's model. I think it's great in that it harks back to sort of her original armaments. She's picked up Truth and Consequence again. It's her original weapons that she had from her first version. And we're getting to see her in this sort of really awesome pose, and the fact that she's got flames all around her. She just looks great. She's having a great time. Being a fan of Lilith in Shadow Flame Shard, I do always love a good archer, so of course Valeria. It's got that really cool jumping back and just shooting people in the distance pose. It looks brilliant. One I didn't think that I'd love until I saw it in person, I think it's really, really great, is the Eye of Truth. It's the character Warjack from Malekith, and it just looks fantastic. It's brilliant. He's got this sword out to the side, he's about to take something's head off with it, and it just looks great. I think some really cool new ideas in terms of how these Protectorate Menoth models work. The one that comes to mind for me first is the Daughters of the Veil. They work in a really sort of unusual way for a character unit, but they'll do something that's quite familiar tactically, but they apply it in a really different way. So playing with the Covenant of the Flame really feels like you're playing with this crusading order. They're going across the field, wreathed in flame, destroying everything in their path, and they're sort of chanting battle hymns and zealotry the whole way they go across. And this zealotry actually has a physical impact. It protects them from enemy attacks. It can actually make opponents that get too close to them weaker, and it can really make their army far more effective because of the power of their faith.
I think it's the classic hallmarks of Menoth gameplay. I think it's those classic control gameplay styles, but with a modern twist. It has an awful lot more play and counterplay, so it's a lot more interactive for both players, but it should feel exactly as you would imagine a Menoth army to feel.
Covenant of the Flame has a playstyle of control. So where we've done individual warcasters sometimes that have a control playstyle, Covenant of the Flame is control as a playstyle for the entire army, and then different warcasters kind of provide different accents upon how that control works. So there really is a combination of choices that you make and choices that you make that will limit what your opponent is capable of. Whilst you're not as technologically advanced as other people, you kind of bring them down to your level, then set everything on fire and see who wins.
You have to think and react to what your opponent's doing. A lot of your control mechanisms are preemptive rather than reactive. So for example, you might be going into a heavy shooting army, you do have some degree of control over that shooting, albeit on a limited level. So picking when to do that and how to do it, and obviously a lot of these things are governed by control ranges and things like that. It's, you know, moving forward, offering good trades to your opponent, as you know, all these good habits that are there to have, but feeling like you have a huge amount of agency over where you can blunt your opponent and where you have to accept that you're going to get hit. Menoth has to feel like Menoth. You know, we know that there's going to be an awful lot of people who have a deep abiding love for this faction and their playstyle and their aesthetics and their history and everything like that. So we had to make sure that it maintained that. One of the key design principles that we have is this concept of play and counterplay. How can we implement control without removing too much agency from your opponent?
I'm really proud of being able to finally sort of catch and slay that unicorn of being able to make an easy to play army that also plays under a control style. That's quite difficult to do, but also making it feel like it's reminiscent of that original Menoth playstyle is something I'm just really proud of.
Menoth is the creator of humankind. He's also known as the lawgiver, and that's because he bestows 4 gifts upon humankind. First one is the gift of the sheaf. This is the ability to grow crops and grain and so forth. The next one is the flame, which enables them to basically beat back the darkness that surrounds them and protect them. Following on from that is the wall, what enables the Menites to protect themselves, to build civilization. The last one is the law. The law, and the most important, obviously, if you're a good Menite, is the law or the word of Menoth.
So the Gifts of Menoth are an overarching special rule that is unique to Covenant of the Flame. It's something you choose at the start of every one of your turns playing as the Covenant of the Flame, and it really decides one of the key things that your opponent can't do next turn. One of them means that you can't be shot at, one of them means that you can't be targeted with spells, one means that enemy warrior models can't charge at you, and another one is that your opponent's warjacks can't spend focus and warbeasts can't be forced. So they really take a really key core pillar of something your opponent's capable of and remove a key one in different turns of the game. And you get to select the order in which these gifts take place. Covenant of the Flame use fire in a way that no one else really has in Warmachine before. So one, they're really good at setting fire to things. As you'd imagine, they are the Covenant of the Flame. They have abilities that allow models to be set on fire even when they normally couldn't be set on fire. And then they also get to spend fire as if it's a resource. So if your opponent's models are on fire, each different warcaster brings a different way of spending fire tokens to give you special unique effects. I'm really excited for people to see the different ways in which you can spend fire tokens. There's quite a lot of different effects that you can have that make the army quite dynamic in ways you wouldn't expect. So a typical Covenant of the Flame army is often quite warjack heavy. You'll see a lot of Crusaders, a lot of Revengers, and they're usually supported by their units. You will sometimes see an army of Covenant of the Flame that's heavily infantry, but a lot of the time the core of their army and the real damage dealing that's going to take place comes from their warjacks.
They don't have the technological development behind them, the same as you see with Signar or Kadar or anybody else. They haven't had scientists and engineers and arcanists working on warjack technology. What they do have is the old weapons of war that they landed back with. Now, some of these things, armor, weapons, spears, swords, so forth, they can be updated and they're relatively straightforward to forge. Warjacks are not. And that's why you see amongst the Protectorate armies, you see Crusaders, you see Revengers, and they're repurposed and they don't look the same way they did before. They've now got new armaments added to them. They're now some of the oldest warjacks in the armies of the Iron Kingdoms, which is really interesting. These are actually quite holy relics, which is really cool, I think.
So there's a 30-point box set, which is great if you just want to dip your toe in, and then there's 3, I think, 50-point box sets that have the 4 main leader models that we're going to focus on initially. Obviously, there's more to come. 3 50 points and 1 30-point box. You can grab them, stick them on the bases, and play, and not feel like you are pushing the boulder uphill. They should all feel harmonious in and of themselves. I'm thrilled. I can't wait for them to come out, and more importantly, I can't wait to see how happy people are when they see what we've done with this, because I have 1000% confidence that people are going to absolutely love what we've done with them. I think I'm really excited about people discovering or rediscovering their love of fire, but also the ways that we've interacted with the fire and made it different and made it interesting, and actually it's its own kind of cool little mini game, and unlocking that is going to be the secret and the key to squeezing the maximum amount of power out of this faction. Yeah, of course, yeah. Harbinger's coming back.
And we're back, and what a video, oh my lord. Like,
That was
you
fun.
at the end,
Yes, yes,
big
yes.
moments.
And breathe and relax, everyone, yes.
And introduce Jamie, who's also in the video, Warmachine games developer extraordinaire, the brains behind a lot of it.
Well, yeah, I was privileged enough to be able to work on Covenant of the Flame. It's been, a lot of work, but I really enjoyed working on it, honestly. It's been great. Playing against the original Protectorate Menoth such a long time ago, and playing against so many games against them, I really wanted to, so it was great to have the privilege to be able to bring them back.
Well, all of that hard work is paying absolute dividends, because it looks incredible, mate. Honestly, it looks so sick. Thanks. And you look great on TV, look at you.
Well, photogenic face.
You've got a face made for it.
Yeah.
You look so, and obviously you look handsome as well, don't get worried. You look handsome as well. Everyone looked great. But what a video, right?
No, it's great, and we're going to dive into something that I don't think we've done before, which is, I'm not going to say a full army reveal, because we're going to keep something back, but we're going to go pretty deep on this and try and show as much as we can. And I don't want to spoil things, but I think there's something that the guys have lined up at the end of this, which is actually quite cool. That's going to get you guys really excited about it, and maybe even able to get your hands on some Menoth action in the near future.
A lot of people very excited right now.
Yeah. Cool, right, well, let's dive in, shall we? I've got the Wand of Control.
Scary.
Next slide. Oh, no, it's too powerful.
There we go.
I can't handle it. So I think the first thing that we should talk about, Jamie, and we alluded to it in the video.
Yeah.
This is our take on a control faction.
Yes.
And one of the central mechanics for us for that control faction, because we wanted to make sure we had that window of opportunity for your opponent to kind of almost counterplay it. Right. It's control without losing complete agency, and the Gifts of Menoth is something that's incredibly important to making that happen. So
yeah, I think it was one of the first concepts we talked about for designing the Covenant of Flame, and how we were trying to just back and forth, like, how do we make this a control army that's relatively simple to pick up and easy to pilot? And the Gifts of the Menoth were how we did that, both thematically and on the table as well. So these, as you say, these are relatively straightforward to use. They're 4 very powerful, simple abilities. They just say, you cannot shoot me this turn. It's one turn, and they cycle around. You can't pick that same gift again the following turn. You can't keep repeatedly saying you can't shoot me. But being able to go, here's one core pillar of the opponent's game, it gets taken away, and now we're playing on a more even playing field. I remember those earliest games with the Covenant of the Flame, and it really felt like, we used to describe it as a Mark II time capsule. because it feels like that that Covenant of the Flame are playing that kind of Mark II power level, and what you're doing is you're bringing these really powerful Mark IV armies down to the Mark II power level to fight with you in the mud.
Yeah.
And it sort of really brought back a lot of nostalgia in terms of the way the game's played. You have to respect the fact you haven't got Pathfinder anymore. I've got to worry about terrain, but then so the opponent can't shoot with this turn, or maybe they can't target my spells, and it became this really interesting back and forth.
I remember when you pinged me and sort of said, I've got this cracking idea for the control mechanism, and it was literally at the same time I was reading some of the narrative background in IKRPG.
Yeah.
And I'd literally just read the section of Menoth about the gifts of Menoth, and I'm like, well, there's these gifts in the book.
Yeah.
Does that map onto what you're thinking? And we had a quick back and two, and it just seemed to just synchronize and line up perfectly. I think just picking up on one thing that you said, though, just to be really, really clear, the gifts, you can't, you have to run through all 4 of them, don't you, before you can then start recycling. So you can't alternate each and every other turn.
Yeah,
you have to go through them. So there's a lot of agency or a lot of onus on the Menoth player to pick when to use them at the right time.
And also for the opponent as well, if there's one that's really bad for your army, that's really crippling for you, you can be like, oh, I'm going to wait that one out. Or I try and bait that one out early. Or we're going to play around it at this point as well, or even try and design lists to play against Protectorate by saying, here's an army that's got a wide range of different things it can do. Sure, you can turn my shooting off, but I've got some spells. You can turn my infantry charges off, but I've got some cohorts. Oh, you've turned my forcing and my focus spend off, but I've got units I can go in with. So really, it forces interesting choices on list design as well.
I think so, and I think of all the playtest games that I've had, what I've found quite fascinating about it is it's very matchup dependent. You're not following the same set pattern through those gifts.
Right.
So it's very much you have to assess the game state. You have to assess, what does your opponent bring? What strengths have they got? What are they most going to do in their next turn, and try and affect that. And hope that you've got it right. So yeah,
absolutely.
Well, look, let's dive in. So that's the 4 gifts of Menoth. Obviously, we'll have time for questions later on. So if you guys have got any questions, start lining them up. But let's have a little look at what's in the first box. What's in the box? What's in the box? Is it carrot? Have you seen carrot in a box?
I've seen a carrot in a box.
We'll play that at the Christmas party. Carrot in a box.
Wait. I mean, I've got goosebumps for this, but let alone carrot in a box.
Box.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah. So the first box is this is the 30-point command set, and we're going to run through what's in the box. It's these things.
It is.
They're very tiny on my screen.
So what we've got there is we've got Fiora, we've got one of the Crusaders with a set build. We think you want to play in this particular box. You've got Pyrrhus.
I love the Crusader.
Honestly,
Crusader's great.
I love the Crusader.
Yeah,
insane.
Pyrrhus is a character solo, the Flame Guard commander, and then you've also got Valyria as well. So she's one of the she's an Idrian.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old Idrian skirmishes?
Yeah.
We've got a reference there as well. And then you've got a standard unit of Flame Guard defenders. So as we did in the Fane and Nero box, we've got some non-character models in the command starter as well. We noticed with Fane and Nero that meant that if you had non-character units and models in there, that it was quicker and easier for people to get to that 100-point level to play full games. You've got some units you can field multiple of, and meant that you could get the army to the table even quicker. So we just felt that was a good way to go with.
No, I agree. And at 30 points, adding a couple of jacks takes it up to 50 points very easily, and this list absolutely looks after that, doesn't it?
Exactly.
So let's have a little deep dive into some of these, because we've got an awful lot of slides to go through. So let's talk about the lady herself. So this is the concept art. Obviously, so a leader model, we wanted to make sure that she looked fantastic. She's got the focus of the model is absolutely her amazing hat. What should I call it? Is there a special name?
No, hat's
Tell
good.
me, chat. Is it what's the
Crown
special
helmet?
hat?
Yeah.
Crown
that
helmet?
a priest wears. I don't know. There must be a fancy name for it. Anyway,
must
she's
be
got one of
something.
those, and it's cool.
Yep.
But we wanted to obviously Warcasters have the traditional shape of the backpack and the vents coming off of their power armor.
Yep.
But we thought we'll hang a cloak off that. We've got lots of opportunity for some fabric.
Brilliant.
And this model just has a huge amount of table presence.
The silhouette is incredible.
And I love the nostalgia as well that she's gone back. She's had lots of different weapons over the years, and she's gone back to truth and consequence from the very first weapons that she ever saw her with.
Let's have a little look at her in colour. There she is with her amazing hat.
With her amazing hat.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is Fiora, Marshal of the Flame Guard. She's going to give you a really good understanding of what it's like to play with Covenant of the Flame. So kicking off with what we talked about in the video, we talked about elements of playing with fire and how you can spend that as a resource. And the first one we need to look at there is Prophet of the Covenant. And what this does is, this is an ability that she gives to herself and her whole army, so all of the faction models that are within her control range. What they can do is they can spend fire tokens on enemy models to basically boost melee attack and damage rolls. So it means that when our army gets into melee with you, they're going to hit incredibly hard, as long as they've set fire to everything first.
Of course.
They spend that fire to then hit even harder with the melee attacks. So her army hits like an absolute sledgehammer.
If you've set it up right, you have to get that fire out.
Absolutely, and we do that in a couple of different ways. I'm glad you mentioned that. What a great segue, of course.
I know.
Yeah. So we mentioned as well, this army is relatively simple to play. If you have a look at her feat, it's actually very similar to the feat of the original Fiora, where it literally just sets everything in a control area on fire. The only difference here is it's models units.
I still remember the first game where you're like, just a warning, Matt.
Yeah.
If I could somehow find a way of getting your models on fire, bad things will happen.
I did.
And what options have you got? Well, this feat turns everything on fire.
Pre-warning.
That did actually happen in a test game. Maybe, oh yes, this model. What did I write there? Oh yes, well.
Well, everything's on fire.
Handily.
Well, that was easier than I
Here's
thought it was
one I
going to
made
be.
earlier.
Yeah.
So a really nice and simple, straightforward feat to use. This will often be something that kind of just, it's a, sort of a resource engine, or rather it sort of gives a adrenaline boost to the sort of fire abilities of her and her army, just by making sure everything's set on fire so you can hit them really hard. Another key part of her toolkit is illumination. So even though she's only focus 6 and she's control 12, not the biggest control area for a warcaster, and that's really important for Covenant of
For the
Flame.
gifts as well.
For the gifts, definitely. Is also because she's going to get to spend a fire token to use one of her spells for free.
Nice.
So it means that she, even though she only looks like she's got those 6 focus, you can go above that by spending a fire token once per turn. You get one of her really lovely suite of spells without spending any focus. And speaking of which, let's get into those.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, so
Oh, sorry. Got trigger happy.
We're good.
I thought magic zoom in on the spells.
I know, we'll get to it. Crusader's got his time coming. He's got his time coming.
All right. Come on, hurry up.
All right, so we want to draw people's attention to a few of these here. So one of them we mentioned in the video, there's going to be, I think it's Lawgiver's Judgment, I think it's called. Yep. So that's going to be the capacity for them able to set fire to things that couldn't normally be set on fire.
Yes.
Wow.
Upkeep spell on Fiora, and for future spoilers, this spell is on every single Covenant of the Flame Warcaster. So it's the one thread through all of them that they all have. It's an upkeep spell that removes fire resistance whilst in the Covenant of Flame Warcaster's control range. So it doesn't completely remove fire resistance, because if you're shooting things away from that are really far away from you, they'll probably still have that resistance to fire. But the moment they get close to the Covenant army, they're going to lose that fire resistance and very quickly get set on fire. So that'll be very handy for games like Crucible Guard, etc. The really key one on Fiora's card is going to be Debilitating Heat. So this is an offensive spell that she's got, and it's effectively gives a big stat debuff to an enemy unit you put it on. It'll give them -2, I think it's def, and basically armor to melee attack rolls. So melee damage rolls are going to hit them harder as well. And then they also have -2 to their damage rolls when they hit you back. So it's going to make them really...
So what I'm hearing is they are hitting hard.
Right, that's the free boost we had earlier from fire tokens. You're going to be making them easier to hit because Debilitating Heat. You're going to be able to cast Debilitating Heat for free by spending fire tokens. Her army, it's like a sledgehammer.
You could almost say hot and hard action on this one.
You could almost. I don't know if you would.
I don't know
but
if
you
we-
could almost.
Yeah.
You could.
I didn't.
No, you
No,
didn't.
No, you nearly said it.
you
Nearly
could.
said it, but you
exactly.
could.
Yeah, you gestured
Yeah,
towards
just
it.
putting it out there.
Yeah.
But then pulling it back.
Flown out, seeing what happens.
See what happens.
Shall I go on?
Yeah, just the last thing I want to say about Fiora is her personal role in the army, she's kind of a sweeper. So she's got this capacity to walk through Flame Guard models because she's the Marshal of the Flame Guard. She can walk through, she can smash things to pieces with her own attacks. She can hit quite hard personally by spending those fire tokens. Then she can teleport back to safety once she's done all that.
What I love about her is her feat is incredibly deliciously simple to land.
Yes.
And it's more how you take advantage of it, how you set it up in order to maximize the benefit of the feat. And I think that's one of the hallmarks of the Menoth design, is each model in and of itself is actually quite streamlined, quite straightforward, quite simple to play, but the nuance and the depth will be how can you squeeze the most juice out of this.
Absolutely.
Also simple to visualize from like a immersive point of view. That's why we do it, right?
Yes.
Tables in flames, they're hitting hard. It's amazing.
Brilliant. Right, let's have a look. My favourite. Look at this. What a silhouette.
The Venerable Crusader.
Forget about it. It's done. So
good, man.
sick.
One, it looks classic as it is, brings back so many memories, but also just looks so great now. Like you said in the video, it's got that great silhouette. It's sort of reminiscent of the artwork you've seen of Crusaders.
Yeah.
in years long past. So these are, I think, sharing reference that these are kind of relics of the Covenant of the Flame army. They've been around for a very long time at this point, and they are in themselves an element aspect of their
If
worship.
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Definitely,
exactly.
definitely true. So they have this representation by basically extending the bubble of your Gift of Menoth. So when you have this on Crusaders, if you have them near the edge of your control range, then the area within 3 inches of that Crusader is also going to count as being.
And that's really key. I don't think did we talk about that when we talk about the gifts? The gifts are limited to enemy models within your control range.
So it depends on the gift. So for Sheaf, when they can't spend focus or be forced, that's when the enemy model's within your control range.
Yep.
And then if you're being attacked like by range attacks, that's when friendly models can't be targeted by that. So mostly friendly models.
But he creates that little additional bubble.
Right. So you could have a Crusader. Say there's an objective that's just on the edge of your 12-inch control range. You could have the Crusader on the edge of your 12-inch control range, expand the bubble into that objective, and you have some units that are in there also being protected by this.
And I love that
expansion
visual of armor supported by infantry and mutually supporting each other as well. It's really, very Warmachine.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then we can move on as well. But the heavy boiler is super important to this because the Covenant of the Flame army is not the quickest. As in, they don't really have many speed buffs at all.
No.
This is a really key representation of the fact that they're quite low tech, and the fact that they're not going to be that fast to reach you. So that heavy boiler is one of the few ways they're going to be able to run across the table and get into objective zones in the first place. But once they're there, they're fighting on really, I would say, fair terms with the gifts on top.
Yeah, right. But they've got to get there, and in order to do that, if they're moving quite slowly, they're going to get hit quite often, aren't they? And they can definitely take a hit.
They can take a hit, yeah. No, they're not going to deal out a lot of alpha strikes, but they're going to take a lot of them.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some of his loadouts.
Yep. So these are some of the head options you've got for the Crusader. So one of them we mentioned, it's a Venerable Warjack because they're quite aged and learned at this point. That's represented in the Venerable head. You can actually just purchase to give it +1 mat. Make it a mat 7 Warjack. Gives it Gladiator as well. And then the other one we've called out is Combustion. So we saw this on the really old Castigator Warjack for old Protector of Menoth. We've changed the wording on this slightly so that you can actually use Combustion to charge this time now. So you didn't used to be able to do that. You used to have to just walk, and it really limited the threat range on whether you could use it or not. But with this new version of Combustion, you can charge into melee, use Combustion, then buy additional attacks afterwards. So, yeah.
Love it.
Ashen Bale and Shield Guard, known abilities. There's no real particular change.
Only 1 point as well for that.
Yes, these are very aggressively priced Warjacks. So we expect to see.
You can get them sub 10, right?
You can get them sub 10.
Yeah, baby. Heavies for sub 10. Let's go.
Yeah, we expect Covenant of the Flame armies to be made up of the majority of their hitting power definitely comes from their Warjacks.
Yeah. They'll make Sherwin happy. He loves running. Never leave home with less than 3 heavies.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, here's some of the arms you're going to be working with. So a lot of these weapons you've seen on older Protectorate Warjacks. Inferno Mace has been seen before. The Condemn has been seen before on the old Reckoner. Something to call out here is that the Covenant of the Flame army doesn't have Choir. That's an old unit that the Protector Menoth used to have, and they used to be this really important element of buffing for their Warjacks. It's really important to note that from the narrative perspective, their population density is much lower. They've suffered quite heavily. So how they've managed to get around this with their remaining military is that they've militarized a heavy amount of their population. And so it's the whole army that's singing these battle hymns at this point. So the whole army represents the choir, which is where the gifts come from, in a sense. And in terms of the buffs you used to get from choir, we actually started development with their battle bonus just baked into the raw stats, and then we developed from there. So a lot of these hitting numbers are quite high, because it's assumed that they basically always have the.
And that was one of the things that we wanted to do, is when we looked at the old Menoth playstyle, we understood what the key abilities were and the key auras and buffs and everything like that, and how they were all layered together, and we looked to simplify that, and it's a good example of how we've simplified that particular behaviour. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right, what's next? Oh, classic. This is the core mainstay of the army, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So sick.
Yeah, they are.
I do miss my ranks of pikemen, honestly, and it's good to see them back here, the Flame Guard defenders. A relatively straightforward unit, honestly, in the sense that they have combined melee attack, they've got shield wall, they've got shield guard, and they've got set defense. It's kind of
job done.
What more do you need?
No frills. It's meant to be a straightforward army. The other thing to point out here is that their cost looks higher than you would normally see for a unit of this simplicity. That's done intentionally because this army is meant to be more of an elite fighting force. They're not often going to outnumber their opponent, and you're often going to find that your cohorts are more competitively priced than the units are. That's done intentionally. Again, it's part of their population density is not great, and it's the reliance on the Warjacks as these sort of relics as well. And honestly, the gifts of Menoth are really powerful, so they have to pay for that cost somewhere, and it comes out of the unit.
Just so much narrative imbued of everything on this one. It's sick.
We tried to lay it on thick there, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Valyria, yeah.
Valyria.
I mean, does she look great?
What a model. I mean, the concept art, I think that's one of Andrea's fantastic amount of movement. I think Russ and the sculpting team have managed to capture that sense of movement.
Yeah, the flow.
And we should give a big shout out to Cult of Paint, who are the wonderful guys who we've been working with on the studio paint schemes for this. I've painted a couple of models. I'm trying to copy them. I find it very difficult.
You're doing a pretty great job.
I know, right?
Yeah, mine have different flavour to them. Mine are a
give
bit more
yourself your
grim
flowers,
dark.
dude.
But,
You deserve it.
Yeah. But I think Cult of Paint always inspirational to me. Definitely check them out, and they've done fantastic work on the Menoth minis.
Yeah, they look incredible.
Yeah.
Phenomenal work.
Right, let's have a little look at her in close up.
So Valeria is reminiscent of the Idrian skirmishers of old, and she brings like a heavy ranged element to her particular playstyle. So we mentioned that there are generally overall low complexity army, but some complexity points have been spent in certain places. Valeria is a good example of this. So character solo, there's a number of different things you can do with her, but she's basically all about the shots that she can power with that tremendous bow that she's got there. So she interacts with fire in her own little way, just as Fiora did on an army-wide level. Then she's got one as well, I think it's called Cleansing Volley. Basically, when she hits an enemy model with her bow that's already on fire, she can spend that fire to be able to shoot them again. She only gets to do that once more. She'll get two goes with the bow. She won't be able to keep going forever, but she gets to sort of do a bit of rapid fire if she's shooting something that's already on fire. And that bow hits real hard. She's got an armor-piercing shot. So
looks like it is hard.
She can take a good chunk of damage points off heavy warjacks as well.
It leaves a mark.
Yep. Yeah, it will. Super important for the army functioning in two different ways. She's a good example of something you'll see a number of times in Covenant of the Flame, where we've got these composite combat solos. So what you'll often see in many of the Mark IV armies, you've got a solo that will stand at the back of the table, just give a single buff, and that's its entire job to do. And there are other solos that are, I will just go and kill as many models as possible, and that's my job. Covenant of the Flame solos try and do a bit of both. So you'll have this really difficult choice of, I've got these really prodigious combat abilities. She's really incredible with that bow, but she is the only instance of I can give Pathfinder to a unit in the whole army.
Right, and that's kind of important.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
If she's the only way that you can go, I will give Pathfinder to this unit in your whole army, you've got to weigh that up versus, do I shoot with this great bow, or do I need Pathfinder this really critical time, but I'm going to give up my shooting abilities to do it.
Right.
You're going to be given those choices quite a lot with Covenant of the Flame. So yeah,
just so many awesome choices to make.
On
the board.
We like giving players difficult but interesting choices.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
that's what makes an interesting game. Speaking of interesting.
Yeah. So this is the Revenger, the light modular warjack for Covenant of the Flame. It also has that capacity to expand the bubble of the auras of the gifts as well, in the same way as the Crusaders do. So you can do that with your Revengers and your Crusaders. I mentioned competitively priced warjacks. The Revenger, I think you're going to see at least two of, I think, in most army lists. Like, this guy is really, really useful for your army. It can be quite difficult to remove and quite tough. A tough little warjack for 6 or 7 points, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that loadout on screen isn't quite the toughest little loadout, but that's more of a really strong utility loadout, isn't it? There's a lot going on there in terms of getting some fire out and everything.
Absolutely. I can't remember if we've added I think we've added another. Yeah, we have added another slide.
Have we got another slide on this guy? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at some of his head options.
Yeah. So a good example of this one would be if we've got the defensive head. Literally, you can just purchase a +1 def, make it a def 13, arm 17. It does have a shield option on one of its arms.
Yes.
So you can make this def 13, armor 19.
How many points is that going to be?
It's going to be, I think, 8 when you do it that way around. Yeah, with the
good.
shield. Shield's one of the more expensive options. But if you take you've got there the light immolator flail.
Yeah.
That's one. It's a power 14 chain weapon, so it hits relatively hard for a light warjack. But it also gives it Ashen Veil. So if you are trying to put that on an objective with its repulsor shield, you can have this at basically defense 15, armor 19, and it's a really tough little thing to remove after you've fought through the gifts.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. Paladin is another of the head options you can take. This is when it's more of a sort of a guardian to your own models. That'll basically make it a roadblock, so it'll make things behind you be able to benefit from cover.
Yep.
But it also means that the warjack itself can't be like moved by a push or a knockdown. So it's
incredibly strong in scenario, especially with that loadout you're talking about.
Absolutely. So you can put it in scenario zones, and it can be a real pain to get rid of.
Yeah.
And then running the 2 in different loadouts as well.
Absolutely.
So many different options and choices.
Well, I mean, fundamentally, you're gonna, you know, for the points cost of that 6, 7, 8, even 8 points, you've got to send way more equity to go and deal with that. So you're able to use this model to start a really advantageous points trade as well, aren't you?
Absolutely can. Absolutely can. Yeah.
There he is, in situ.
Yeah. Another good look at some of the Revenger loadouts. That's with the Skyhammer. So the Skyhammer missile launcher comes back. That's a good old range 14 AoE weapon that terrorised people in the old days and is going to do the same thing.
I think that's a good way of getting some fire out.
Yeah, that can be. With certain combos we're going to see, it definitely can be.
Just a dash more fire.
Just a
dash.
Little
tiny bit.
frisson of fire.
Whoa.
Nice. So what do you get in the box for the Revenger? Well, let's have a look through the loadout. So talk us through this.
So what we've got here is we've got a couple of the, so we've got the Immolator weapon on the left-hand side, or Purifier, sorry, that's going to be the short-range spray. And then you've got the Blazer, that's a brand new weapon. So they've made very few technological advances. The Blazer is one of them. And that's going to be a 2-shot or both barrels cheap weapon that you can use there on the Revenger.
Hosing out some hot lead action.
Absolutely. And then you have, I think this particular loadout, I think, is going to be coming in one of the army boxes. And this is where you see you've got the right repulsor shield. You've got the halberd that hits particularly hard and gives it aggressive, so it can charge for free when it has the halberd. And I think that's the paladin head there as well. So in that particular armor box, you'll get a really sturdy warjack to sit on objectives. And the Skyhammer we mentioned earlier, range 14 support weapon.
Great loadout.
Yep. And the one we saw earlier with the Immolator and the grenade launcher there as well. So that's going to be like a fire-causing AoE weapon for its left arm.
Yeah, crazy. Oh, my favourite. Let's have a little look at what's in the box for the Crusader. So let's talk through the visuals.
So both modular warjacks are going to have 4 different head options, 4 left arm, 4 right arm options. Same for the Crusader and the Revenger. The Crusader here, we see the Blazing Star. It's going to be that 2-inch range Thresher weapon.
Looks like a Thresher weapon, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And the Flame Belcher as well. So that's AoE 3 fire causing gun that's going to do some serious damage.
I mean,
so let's talk that through, right? So I have Führer, I've popped my feet, I've got fire out there, I'm hitting models, I'm spending that fire to boost my attack and damage rolls with a weapon that's then putting fire out.
Yeah, so a key thing there is that most of the guns in Covenant of the Flame do fire on hit. But the melee weapons are fire on critical hits. There are I think it's only the Warcasters and some of the solos that have continuous fire on hit for their melee weapons, and that's because of certain interactions on some models that we haven't shown yet.
Right.
But the melee weapons are crit fire, so effectively it kind of works like crit shred in that instance. So if you're going to keep putting fire out with your critical attacks, then you'll be able to keep doing things with it once you put it out, basically. But yeah, with Führer, as you mentioned, do that feat first, do a Thresher. Oh, all the models in my Thresher are on fire. Oh. Boost, 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 boost. Take them all off.
Monstrous. I love
Curtains.
it. Yeah, I love it.
So you've got the Condemner here, which brings flare. So it's a really useful way to drop enemy models' defense when you hit them with the Condemner. And then the Inferno Mace, if just a good old power 20, just get the job done.
Getting up close and personal.
Yeah. Flame Fist and the Heavy Purifier. So this is quite a short range spray. It's one of the cheaper weapons. This is how it's close to this build as how you'll get your sub 10 cost Warjack, where you get that short range, really powerful spray. That spray is power 16, so it's going to hit when it gets there. And then the Flame Fist, it's no slouch either. It's power 17. So these Warjacks hit hard even at a cheap cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, Battle Shield, if you want to make your Crusaders Arm 21, either you get through the gifts, then get through an Arm 21 Heavy. That's not the easiest thing to do. And then you've got your another 2-inch range melee weapon in the Flame Pike. So that's the one that's powerful attack and crit throw, basically. Beautiful. Crit pitch.
All right.
The gang together.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what we envisage. Like, that's the most obvious route from 30 points up to 50 points, isn't it?
Absolutely is. Yeah. If you've got your command set and you've got another heavy as well, and then a light warjack, you get close to that. 50
and I think we're quite careful about making sure that is very playable. There's not a lot of inefficiency in there. That is a list that works really well out the gate.
Absolutely is. Yeah.
All right. There you go. It's releasing October 27th. That's not very far away.
It is. Right, exactly.
We're just counting down.
Indeed.
We're counting down. All right, so onto one of the first 50-point boxes, Scourge of the Unbeliever. Let's talk through who have we got in there. There's some familiar silhouettes in there.
There are indeed, yeah. So here's a really interesting thing. We've never actually. This is normally the point where we'd stop, where we go show you the command starter.
Right.
We've shown you the heavies.
So what you're getting.
That's it. You maybe can have a look at something else in the future, but we'd normally stop here.
Yeah.
Doing it different.
Yeah.
Let's go deeper into this.
What else have we got? So in this box we've got Malachus.
Yep.
Who's going to be your second Warcaster that comes out. I think he's been seen at a couple of shows in the cabinet.
He has.
A chance to walk around.
Yep.
You get another Revenger with one of your set builds. You get your first character Warjack.
Yep.
The Eye of Truth. He's got that
unbelievable
big blazing
model.
sword up on the right side.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You've got another set of Flame Guard Defenders. So what we've done here across the army boxes, and we did this with Thane as well, is where we think in a typical build for the army, if you're going to want one of the non-character units multiple times, we've tried to make sure across the armies you'll get 2. I think it's usually just 2 set copies of the unit, because you'll probably want 2 at some point when you're building this. The last thing we've got there is the Flame Guard, the Cleanser Purifiers. So that's the flame, the fire breathing unit, and then the Vassals as well. So we've got the Vassals unit.
And they're special, aren't they?
They are very important for
Yeah,
armies.
they are very important.
function.
I think we're going to talk about them, aren't we?
We are.
Oh, yeah,
shortly.
we've got to talk about the
Let's have a
Vassals.
look at this boy first. So.
Whoa.
Irish Truth. Doesn't it look
What do you
great?
say about that model?
What a model.
It's just
What do you
brilliant.
say about it?
It looks. I don't know. I mean, it's.
Just fighting a church.
It's just,
You're just fighting a building at this point.
But I
Like,
think,
it's
I think
insane.
the next slide shows you like that was
Oh.
that was the original kind of concept art, and
Right.
I just think
Doesn't get
they've
any
got
better than that.
really
Look at that
close
art.
to just that brooding shoulder,
Hulking.
I think Russ and his team-
hulking. That's the
Hulking
word.
is the
yeah.
Russell's
word.
team have done such a good job of making the new miniatures match the artwork so closely. as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
It does look great.
Hats off to them.
Absolutely.
Like the vibes are still there. It's insane.
So the Eye of Truth, it has a couple of rules copied over from the Crusader because it's effectively a character Crusader. So it has that heavy boiler as well, and it has that extension to the bubble of the gifts. But it has a unique rule as well called Brace for Impact.
Yes.
Now, Brace for Impact basically means is you know as the Protectorate player that you're going to be not giving alpha strikes, you're not going to be hitting first very often, but you're definitely going to get hit first a lot, even with the gifts protecting you. So what Brace for Impact does is it allows you to more easily take that charge
Yep.
and stand there. So what it means is that the Eye of Truth and the Warjacks around Eye of Truth are not going to be able to be knocked down or pushed by by slams, etc. So it's going to mean that your shield wall of Warjacks is going to stand firm and take that charge.
They got
basically.
strong scenario game across the
Yeah,
board.
what a
haven't they?
moment that will be when that happens in a game.
Right, you got it. And then also just hits back, with a casual blessed power 20 sword because why not?
I was going to say, yeah.
casual.
Let's have
Yeah.
a quick look. Power 20.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's deep dive into the Vassals because
We
we've
love
done
the
something
Vassals.
pretty different with these, haven't we?
Yeah, so we've talked before about every army has an empower unit. So basically that's a unit of support models that will walk up behind your Warjacks just to give them focus. They're in most armies in Warmachine, and we wanted to do this a bit differently with the Vassals. We thought, how can we do that in a way that sort of is very thematic to Covenant of the Flame and Menoth in general? We've got this sort of idea of religious fervour and self-sacrifice, and we've got that in Prayers of the Condemned, I think it's called, the top rule there, where it's basically what they do is they spend their life force to give focus points to Warjacks.
Yep.
So they all have 5 health each, and then you're deciding this during allocation. So you're giving focus from your Warcaster, and then you're going, I'm also going to take 2 or 3 health from these Vassals and add that as focus points to my Warjacks.
But when it's gone, it's gone.
When it's gone, it's gone.
One and done.
You're spending the health of your vassals, and then, as you said, and then it also means that when your opponent is trying to attack the Covenant forces, they've got extra reason to try and just land, an occasional scatter AoE shot or some kind of damage that they can get interstitial on the vassals, because the more damage you can do there, you're going to be directly impacting the resources of the Covenant of the Flame player through destroying their health.
Yeah.
So super important there. And then they also bring some really classic abilities of vassals back, of support abilities, so enliven and ancillary attack.
Yep.
Really important aspects to the Covenant of the Flame army to Protectorate, historically as well. So
And they look prepared for every situation.
they really
really
do.
do.
So yeah.
So this
good.
box is coming out about a month after the first box, so just enough time to get it all painted, right?
There we go.
You're a speedy painter, aren't you?
I wouldn't say, well, for function. For function. Yeah, we'll pay for function.
That's all you need to get it onto
Not
the
quite,
tabletop.
not quite the matte level.
Oh, bless you, mate. I don't believe you. Bastions of the Faith. Are we going to talk about yet another army box?
We are going to talk about
third
the other
army
box.
box. Holy smokes.
A little snippet of what else is going to come up ahead. So
All right.
what have we got in this box then? Let's have a look. Indeed. So we have our third Warcaster. This is going to be Stalos.
Yes.
And what he's basically bringing this is the Chunky Boys box.
Yes.
So what you're going to see here is Stalos is your more sort of defensive, high armor stack.
He's
kind
new,
of
isn't he?
Warcaster. He's a new character, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sherwin's really excited to talk about him. You've got another set of vassals in here because we know they're going to be really important for when you want to run multiple Warjacks, and we've talked. So you're going to want to run, Warjack heavy armies here. But you've also got some really important defensive units here in terms of the Cleanser Sanctifiers. That's the medium-based shield unit you can see going on there. You've got a Cleanser Preceptor, who is basically the solo equivalent of a Sanctifier.
Yep.
And you've got the return of they used to be called Deliverers, and now they're called Cleanser, Cleanser Sky Hammers.
Sky Hammers, yep.
And they've got a really chunky shoulder pad.
We're just shooting
rocket
shields
launcher.
everywhere in this box.
Yeah.
So good.
Right, it looks great, doesn't it? So, yeah.
Look at the concept art.
So this was a hell of a lot of fun because it's one thing to be, take existing models and reimagine them and freshen them up, but it's another thing to have a blank kind of canvas and
Have absolute
start.
creative fun with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not biased, but I do like a bald man.
So refined.
I feel attacked.
Well, get a haircut.
I feel like it's the progression of hair, like ridiculousness in the chairs.
Yeah.
Going to the extreme
Actually, yeah,
levels.
it's just it's
literally.
escalating, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have to mix it up.
Yeah.
Look at this, like what great model, and again, Andrea knocked it out with this kind of illustration that he's done here. So it's way beyond concept art. That is full-on illustration.
You're just immersed in the moment.
Yeah.
You can just see it.
You see what's going on there.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And as always, the model in the flesh just looks incredible. It's so hard to photograph minis.
So we're going to, as we said, normally this is where we'd have stopped long ago, but we're going to give a sneak peek into the rules that are coming out.
So keep going.
We're just giving today.
Right, I know.
Wow.
It's so
Let's do it before China turns up.
Absolutely. Don't tell it. So got the cleanser sanctifiers. So these are a really important unit for sort of layered defense. It's really important that we saw the flame guard defenders earlier. You'll often have those as like a front rank. They're going to take the opponent's charge when you're running a sort of an infantry heavy army, which Stalos does like to do. And then what you'll often have is the cleanser sanctifiers stood right behind them there as well with this. They've got a once per game ability. These used to be colloquially called mini feats. We like the concept of mini feats, so we brought some of those back with Covenant of the Flame. So once per game, they're going to be able to activate this capacity to be able to make attacks as the opponent is killing your other models. So every time they destroy a model in front of the Sanctifier, whether it's a Flame Guard Defender or a Cleanser or something else, then the moment they finish that attack, one of them will get to make a 2-inch move and an attack every time that a model nearby them dies. So if you've got this unit of Sanctifiers and you've got maybe two units perhaps of defenders in front of them, every time one of those defenders goes down, a Sanctifier is going to move and hit something.
But you've got to use that ability ahead of time, so it becomes a choice for your opponent whether they still go and engage or not.
Exactly.
But,
so
you can set up some real delicious choices for your opponent, can't you?
You definitely can, yeah. So a really key way of playing the Covenant of the Flame is going to be you've got to get yourself onto the objectives, activate your defensive abilities. Some of those, like this, will be once per game. Use them at the right timing. Put your opponent in a catch-22 of, are you going to come in this turn when I'm really strong, or are you going to wait for the ability to fizzle out? And then I will score some scenario points, and you're under real pressure.
Yep, love it. Right. Oh, and some of the fantastic concept art, because again, this was another opportunity for us to really sort of like freshen the look, and they're not the first 40mm bases, are they? But they are
for Protectorate now.
Yeah,
they had Bastions back in the day. So that's the Preceptor. That is the solo. Yeah.
Oh, I can't see.
There we go.
There he is. Now we can see him.
Another excellent hat.
Right.
Showing
It's all about
great
hats
shots
all around.
Yeah.
We should have brought hats. I mean, we've got one here.
We've got one hat. We need more hats. I want a hat like Fiora. I'm not going to lie.
So, yeah, fair. So one of the elements that's familiar between the two, the unit and the solo with the Preceptor, is they've got this new critical effect on their spray weapon, which is, I think it's critical consuming flames. So if you crit against a model in a unit, then every model in the unit is set on fire. Doesn't matter how far away they are. You set the whole unit on fire at once. Yeah, yeah. So this is another example of what I was talking about earlier with Valyria.
With the duality.
You got it as like a composite solo. So there are really good combat abilities on this solo. He's really hard to kill because of self-sacrifices. Other models around him can choose to die in place of the Preceptor to keep him alive. He's already armor 20, he's 18 with a shield, so he's tough to move. He's got rapid strike with a weapon master melee weapon, so he hits really hard as well. But he's your only access to guidance in the army. So if you need to see through clouds, if you need to see stealth models, this is your one model that's going to do that.
Keep him a little bit safer.
Are you going to use it? Are you going to use it to fight, or are you going to use it to make your army function more effectively?
Back to duality again.
Difficult choice. And then there's another important ability on him called Ignition as well, which is for the very few ranged weapons in your army that don't already do continuous fire, such as the Skyhammer, we mentioned earlier on the Revenger, you can make that weapon now cause fire with Ignition as well if you need to put those really long range fire attacks out. It also adds it to a melee weapon as well, so you've got a one use of this melee weapon will automatically deal fire the next time it hits.
Right, shall we look? So this one's actually that's very similar to the last box, isn't it? We're releasing 2 boxes in 1 month by the looks of it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, 2 boxes released on the same day. So,
how nice are we?
Right, I know.
Pretty good.
Got to give the people what they want, right?
Absolutely do. I can't wait for this army.
Oh.
All right.
Heralds of Perdition.
Army box number 3.
Still in progress with cult paint.
Yes.
Keep painting, guys.
Yes.
Keep painting.
We were so excited to get this army out that we were just like, you know what, we're going to show you the models even though we haven't got all of them back painted yet. We just need to show them to you. They look great.
Let's dive in.
So this army is led by Thyra. And she's brought her character Warjack back, the Blood of Martyrs. That's that.
Yes.
Even the name.
Twirling Dervish, you can see in the top right, got 2 swords this time. So they have a sword and shields, just ditched the shield, gone for 2 swords, both set on fire.
All offense, all the time.
It's just a food processor.
Just
an absolute blender.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got we've got a character unit here that instead of being the Daughters of the Flame, this is a character unit called the Daughters of the Veil.
Yep.
There's only 3 of them, and they're going to kill things real good.
They're incredible. I would love to have something like that in Necrofactorium.
Yeah, fair. Don't blame me for that. Okay, there they are.
more amazing concept art.
They look great, don't they?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, and the miniatures as
Concept
well.
art's phenomenal.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
the bases, the posing, everything.
So, hey, look.
Those
who
look
painted
great.
those?
I painted those.
Did you
I'm
paint
really
those?
proud of them, actually.
As you
They
should
came
be.
out really well.
That's
yeah.
a picture on the fridge moment. That is S tier painting.
I
you've done
was.
there.
Oh, it's not quite S tier, mate. It's not after we're looking at the Colt paint stuff, but
Well, it's
I'm
all relative.
really
It's
happy
all
with
relative.
them, considering I was up late last night painting them before going to bed and hoping I was going to get a good night's sleep.
You did a great job.
Before your dogs wake you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we're going to have a sneak peek of one of the things in this box, which is going to be the Daughters of the Veil. So this is a melee-based character unit, and they have some really slippery movement abilities. So even though they look like they're just speed 7, they have 1-inch melee zones. They're not necessarily that fast. However, they have acrobatics, so they can move through models. They can just jump over them. They have unpredictable movement, which means that instead of when you place a unit, normally the other models are placed within 2, these are placed within 4, so they can get behind models very easily. That's really important because they have backstab. So if they make an attack and they are closer to the opponent's board edge than the model they're hitting, they get an additional damage die.
Yeah.
You get behind things, just absolutely take it to pieces. And they're helped to get behind models not only with unpredictable movement, but they also have shifter on the melee attacks. So they've got 2 weapons. They hit you with the first one. I'm not quite behind it yet, so they just teleport behind it
Yep.
and then stab it with the second attack and get the
Fantastic.
backstab bonus. They're going to rip things to shreds.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Great.
And that one's not coming out until next year, so we're going to have to wait on
But we've
that.
already
Yeah.
got a highlight for 2027. Something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
I mean, look
In
at
the
that.
new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
There
everyone.
we go. Yeah. So, I think it's the first time that we've officially spoken in one of our previews about War Table.
Yeah.
We're big fans of War Table. It's a great way to play Warmachine. If you're not able to play in person, you can
Yep.
play the game digitally. And we've worked with War Table on this, so that actually fairly soon after the stream, we've actually worked with them so that you'll be able to play the Covenant Flame models that you've seen already. We're going to be giving you an app update, so you've got the rules. You'll be able to play in War Table straight away. Thank you to the War Table folks for helping
Yeah,
us.
try 'em
Straight
out.
away.
Yeah.
Yep, straight away. Go and play it tonight.
First time we tried it, so it's a bit of an experiment, but we think
Yeah.
we're pretty confident that people are going to really enjoy
It's
it.
going to be amazing.
Yeah.
All right, I think
And there
that
they
we
are.
have one last look at all of the models,
We do.
all in one go.
That is one hell of an
That's-
image.
So if you get all these boxes, that's all of the Covenant Flame models you're going to get there. So many Warjacks, all the different units. We didn't really talk much about that giant ballista in the bottom left-hand corner there. That's the Cleanser Sunburst. That is an 80mm structure. that you're gonna get.
Incredible.
It definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Imposing, I think, is the word.
Yeah, raining down death on people. That one is. From
Well,
afar.
I mean, I love these 80mm dioramas. I just think they're so
Yeah.
much fun to kind of model, and I think they're so much fun to see them on the table. And we
Yep.
we saw it with the field gun from Gravediggers, and we've kind of extended it through a bunch of the other
Great
factions.
for playing
absolutely.
and for just for painting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can actually have a real play about with them. So creating a little diorama is always fun.
Always.
All right.
All right. So I think I might swap out and let Locks kind of like jump back in
Yeah,
and
we'll
have
take
a little
We'll
conversation.
take a really brief break. Take a
Yeah,
small
we'll have a
break
quick break.
very shortly.
We'll be right back.
And we are back, and we've had another change of staff.
Yeah,
Rich is
amazing.
back.
We didn't change seats. That was
Ah, Oh, we did the first time,
Yeah,
second time.
yeah.
It's fine, don't worry.
fine, we'll
Technically,
keep it there.
you've changed seats.
Technically, I've changed.
So we've
that's
kept it up, and with a majestic shirt as well, looking
Thank you.
incredible.
Yeah.
Look
we'll get
amazing.
there.
And I believe you've got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so like, as Jamie kind of said, that one of the things we wanted to do this time, we've heard a lot of feedback about how we do armies and with the kind of piecemeal approach we've taken previously. This time it was like, right, actually, let's give the fans what they want. Let's show the entire army so we can make the decision straight away of like, do I want this army? And so, although it's not every single thing, as Matt said, it is the majority of the retail release. So that's what you're going to see. So as you can see there, we've got the Protector of Men of Covenant of the Flame Army Bundle. One of the cool things we're doing this time, we are doing the pre-order straight away. So you will be able to, after this stream, be able to pre-order it straight away.
Absolutely.
And we'll come on to the little pre-order exclusive in a moment because that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we've got kind of, this is not just for us on our website either. We've got some deals with our kind of retailers as well, and our war stores, so we'll come on to that as well. So we're
just giving to everyone today.
It's a very, we've been really listening to the feedback about how to support the whole thing, and that's that. Hopefully this approach is much stronger for people when they're making those decisions. Right. So the 4 gifts of Menoth, Jamie, you eloquently talked through what they were. And
nailed it.
Having seen the comments in a little break, because I'm people are extremely excited about the 4 gifts. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're making people stay, bro.
I'm sure there's a lot of chatter about them.
There's a lot of chatter about them.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things we've done is create some cool pre-order bonuses.
Yep.
So anyone pre-order the pre-order bundle direct from us will be able to get the classic edition, which is really cool, from us direct on warmachine.gg.
Yep.
But also we're working with our war stores, and there's a cool variant version that the war stores can get, which is really cool. And distributors of retailers will also have access to a cool version. So we've kind of done a bit of a book cover style approach to this. So we're sharing the love around, making sure that not just, whichever channel you want, you can pick your flavour to what you get. And these are really cool set of 4 cards that you'll be able to get with your pre-order, and they are actually usable in the game. They're very, very important in the game.
Absolutely, yeah. So normally you'll just have the rules for the Gifts of Menoth in your Warmachine app, so you can keep track of which ones you've used as you play in the game. Some people might use tokens. This gives you a physical representation, so you can go and play in this gift this turn, put it to one side, you can keep track by the cards you've played as to which ones you played, if you want to do it that way.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about those colorways?
They're pretty cool, right?
Stunning.
Yeah, the team has spent a bit of time on them. They actually look through like the artworks and like taking the color samples from different models in there and working out which ones would be pretty cool. So there was multiple different iterations, and these are the kind of 3 we've ended up on for the different channels. So,
absolutely stunning.
Awesome. And then not only that, but the updated OP kit. So we've just come to the first kind of end of our original OP kit, and now we're moving into the next one. What we want to try and do as we roll the OP kits out is trying to hopefully line them up to the armor releases and do that kind of approach. So the Menoth are getting a brand new OP kit. So again, this will be in your war stores and your retail stores. They'll have access to this, and tournament organisers as well. We'll be able to get this as well. Fully Menoth themed one with the command cards in there.
Absolutely.
Amazing artwork pieces that everyone, again, I've seen in the comments, people comment how good this artwork is. Yeah,
insane.
Looks great, and some stickers.
And some stickers as well. Yeah,
we all love stickers.
We love stickers, right? We love stickers. So this is again, we'll be able to available via the war stores, available by the retail, and also for TOs as well who want to get involved. And there is the glory shot again of just the amount of stuff. It's the first time we've kind of really seen them all on one side as well.
Yeah.
It's a big old army, and this is kind of like you said, it's about an FA2 on some of these items basically, but not maxed field allowance either. So you can go bigger, right? But
FA4 on the Crusaders, FA4 on the Revengers,
absolutely
on the Flame Guard Defenders as well. Like you've got enough here to fit. Well, from the rules that we're going to release tonight as well, you've got enough there to make a 100-point list.
Yeah,
just a couple of duplicates, you can play the game.
It's a really cool. Again, hopefully it's a bit of an experiment, like Matt said, but it'd be hopefully good to see people actually testing Menoth out with a 100-point list, playing around with that. I think we're going to see a lot of people are really excited to get in and test it. So,
absolutely.
Turning up to the table with that and the cards as well.
Right.
Forget about it. It looks amazing. It's going to look so good.
So like I said, right after the stream, you will be able to get these. So if you scan the code now, it's going to take a screenshot for now, but right after the stream, that'll be available. The bundle on our website will also include a couple of free Warjack weapons for the heavy and the light as well.
Yeah,
so a little extra bonus on the website as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
We love it.
Awesome. And mercenaries who fight from, this is your slide.
So yeah, so there's some mercenaries that work for the Covenant of the Flame. So you've got Iris, Shadow of Retribution, Gorman DeWolf, Revolutionary Agent, and the recent released Baal Dunax as well.
Yes.
So if you want to get those troublesome terrain pieces off the table to let your Crusaders go through those buildings and forests that were going to be in the way, as well as the true mercenaries, of course, that work for every army in Warmachine. So.
Yes. Very cool. And true mercs being things like Magus Invictus.
Constance Blaze and Gallant, yeah, Nostil and Aberration,
Awesome.
and of course Carver and the Warpig.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, it's time to hand over again. I'm going to jump
What a
out.
slide!
Again in
What a
second.
slide
Yeah, it's a
change
good,
that is.
Good slide change. So
Ready
we're
for
going to
this
do a
one?
little quick bring out back. I'm going to jump out again.
All right.
And we're going to have several new faces on this.
Several.
section.
Will be. It's gonna be
Yeah,
exciting.
several new.
But no
faces.
one's going anywhere because
No,
you've
no.
clicked to that, and that's.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to stay seated for this one.
Hopefully you enjoyed the Men-Off section.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And now we're
incredible.
going to go into the Dread Armada section.
Thank you.
So we'll be right back.
Do we go on one or do we go straight away?
No, we're back.
I'm joking. I'm pulling China's leg as always. Shouldn't really do it. It's not very fair. But anyway, we've been joined by two fantastic people. So we have Fraser McFectory from the development team, and you were lead developer designer for the Dread Armada. We got to work quite closely on this, didn't we?
We did. It was great fun.
Yep. And should be no introduction necessary, but Sherry Matthews, our lore master, who we've been sewing together the story of the Dread Armada and what they're up to and how they fit into everything.
Which is, I guess, my intro to actually start talking about that.
Let's
really.
do it. Who is the Dread Armada?
Cool. So the Dread Armada is, well, actually, let's go Crix. So when people think of the Nightmare Empire, they think of various different models we've seen over the years from the army and so on. But the origins of the Nightmare Empire of Crix is the Pirate Lords. It is when Torika lands on the Shard Islands and basically offers this pact of undying fealty for to the Pirate Lords, or death. And unsurprisingly, given those two options, they kind of go, well, let's go with this. Let's choose immortality of sorts, I guess. And that's really the genesis of the Crix army, and that's when you start seeing, crucially, especially for this release, the Crixine Navy. And that's really the primary strength of what Crix is over the years, over the centuries. They've always been one of the major naval powers of the setting.
Yeah, the other nations don't tend to dominate navally, do they?
Yeah,
There's a little bit of a Signaran navy, but...
Yeah, I mean, we have, obviously, there's the Ordic fleet, which is probably the biggest and most powerful, or at least was till the Yorgos showed up anyway. You have a Signaran navy, the Cadoran one, but most of them can't really stand up to the Crixian black ships.
No.
The closest you'll get is the old iron holes. And those don't really have enough, there's not enough of them to really stand against the Crixian navy. So for years they've terrorized, just across the entire shore. And what happens is, we kind of have the event like the Claiming and the Infernal Wars, and that's really where you see them decimated. Much like everybody, to be fair. Everybody gets decimated in this incredible amount of fighting that happens around the time of the Infernal War. And Crix is no exception. They kind of ally, crazily, they actually have to ally with the Iron Kingdoms to try and fight off the Infernalists. And that takes an incredibly heavy toll on them. And as a result, we've now seen, a decade or so more, to actually rebuilding the the various different fleets, because it's not just one fleet. It's the Dread Armada comprises of the Black Fleet. It comprises of the Slaughter Fleet, which is a slightly smaller one, but certainly no less valuable. Then you have
that's Gerlach's boys, isn't it?
Yeah,
love him.
Yeah, just an absolute bunch of really crazy trolls that just want to go and murder everything.
Sorry. More undead things.
Oh. And as you've literally just clicked on, we have the Ghost Fleet and the Pirate Fleet, and incredible timing, Matt, nailed it. So, and that's where we see
intuitive, I would say.
Absolutely incredible. So that's really the Dread Armada, what they're collectively known as. They're led by this guy that I know you're familiar with, called Lich Lord Terminus.
What a ledge.
And we'll get onto him a little bit later, I think.
Yeah, he's my boy.
I'm not even going to try and talk about him. I'm just going to let you do that.
I mean, it's not even a spoiler. Terminus is definitely in this for sure.
We have that. So they've really that's really Dread Armada. They have existed. They're a culmination of all those different fleets, and purely because I know something that China was very keen for me to talk about and talk to everybody about as well, and also it's about conveying is Black Fleet, which was the old name of the old sort of theme force that they had, really encapsulated multiple elements of all these different fleets. You had trolls in there, you had revenants in there, you had pirates in there. Black Fleet really, as well as obviously the Black Fleet itself, the Styxis, and that didn't really encapsulate, we didn't feel what this army was. I'm going to hand over to you in a moment, Fraser, because I think you can talk a lot more about what this army is, but it didn't necessarily capture the whole theme of it. It felt like it was one small segment of it, and focused on, really built around Scar, and actually there's a lot more going on with this army. And I think that's probably my segue to pass over.
Yeah, so the Black Fleet represents, as Sherman says, one small facet of the Dread Armada. What we've done, and more importantly how it fits into the game, is expanded that to the entirety of the Crixian Navy, and it fits in as an entirely new Prime army to like brand new Mark IV, new miniatures, new mechanics, some old faces and some new faces. This is definitely not like a glowing up of things we've already seen. It's brand new and really, really exciting. And
we put this army into the dry dock and gave it a full keel to mast overhaul,
nice
didn't we?
Really, really nice.
Been working on that for the last like 20 seconds or so.
Really?
Quite happy with how that
whole
landed.
20 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, but you mentioned that this is a Mark IV army.
Yeah, brand new Mark IV Prime army, with the one key difference being it's going to be digital instead of physical. Available on a Frontier campaign launching in October the 15th.
That being said, I do believe as well that we're going to be offering physical as always. So for those people who don't dabble in the dark arts that is known as 3D printing, then we got you covered.
Yes, details to be revealed, but do not fear if you're not a 3D printer connoisseur.
If you don't know the witchcraft that is 3D printing.
Like myself.
Absolutely. But and we're going to hopefully wet your whistle. So put this date in your calendar because you're going to be excited. Should we click on?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Let's go. So who's this?
Sherwin, would you like to?
We're all waiting for you to say the name, and we're going to judge you.
That's exactly what's about to happen. So this is Iacos.
Nicely done, sir.
Iacos.
It might be. I'll never know.
Iacos is it's the returning warcaster. Everyone, well, a lot of Crix fans will be familiar with him. He was way back. He was one of the journeyman warcasters.
He was.
If you guys remember those, and he's grown up quite considerably since then. He's a very much a returning captain in the pirate fleet. He's very much the same as I think people will remember him in terms of his story arc. He's been marauding around the sea for a long while now, for over a decade, really just attacking any shipping that he can get his hands on, even in these times of relative peace. He's one of the real reasons why people haven't really felt safe and keep looking very nervously at sort of in the direction of the Crixian mainland, because Iacos might be out there somewhere. Your shipping just truly isn't safe. It's one of the reasons why the Ordic Navy continue to patrol, even in times of peace, just to make sure that ships like this weren't preying on shipping or fishing trips or anything along those lines. And that's really where Iacos has been. So I'll pass over to you now, because I know you're going to talk me all about his gameplay.
Yeah, so the gameplay of this Warcaster is
Amazing.
Neatly dodged.
is tied to a theme that is present throughout the entirety of Dread Armada, and is a very, very nice contrast with Covenant of the Flame that bring the fire. Dread Armada bring the water. They start off with the entire faction can literally summon the sea to the battlefield that they join in, literally aiding the storms and the maelstroms and all the dangers that they can impose on enemy ships and enemy fleets to the shore that where they invade and they prey on the enemies.
And they literally physically manifest on the table, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, we're really, really excited to demonstrate what these guys look like as a full cohesive army visually on the table.
I mean, we'll obviously talk more in depth about their dread tides.
Dread
So
tides.
there's a number of different types of dread tides that the different warcasters can bring, and they all have different interactions with these dread tides as they move around the tabletop. Yeah.
And then Iacos.
Nicely
Correct.
Close enough.
Close enough. Take it.
We'll give him that one.
He specifically is the hunter, as Sherwin says, and that's how he manifests in his gameplay. He will be, picture you are on a beach, and you can see a little black fin in the distance, and you hear a familiar thematic, and you know something's coming, but you can't quite make it out. Is it like the fin there, or is that just a shadow, or is you don't know? And that's what his army, him and his army will feel like coming across the table to drag you to your doom.
Yes.
Yeah. What Fraser's not saying, because having playtested some of this stuff, the theme of each army it's so cool. It really is. It makes my thematic heart sing on this stuff, which is awesome.
Should we see who's
What's next?
Yeah, what's next?
I think I know. It's Charybdis.
Charybdis is one I can pronounce because it's in the Odyssey.
Good job.
Oh, there you go.
So this is Charybdis. Charybdis is actually one of the oldest. It's not Deathjack, don't worry. It's one of the oldest Cryxian warjacks out there. It's made way back in the day by Lich Lord Demortis. I'm not going to pronounce that name right. Demortis? Please correct me. I'm sure you guys will. But anyway, I'm from Essex. I'm not good at pronouncing the name sometimes. And but anyway, this is one of the older warjacks out there. It's actually like one of the part of its design is really used to influence a lot of some of the later amphibious warjacks. We're going to see some of those spoilers a little bit later on. But yeah, this is an ancient warjack that's actually fought lost for a very long period of time until it's rescued, salvaged, whichever way you want to look at it, by none other than Iacos.
Nice.
And at that point, there's a whole bunch of story arc, which I won't bore you guys with, because I'm sure a lot of you fans will already know what it is, in terms of how he returns and sprays acid in a pirate's face, and it's pretty gruesome, actually. But ever since, Charybdis has been part of Iacos' retinue, so to speak, and has been part of the raiding that's going on as well. So,
Very cool.
Charybdis,
yes,
represents a theme. Another theme going through the faction. Not only is there an awful lot of shallow water synergy, which Charybdis can literally summon a huge big bubble of shallow water around himself by spending focus every turn. So it becomes a real centerpiece, particularly to Iacos.
Very good.
Excellent, thank you. But it's also very useful to have throughout the faction with like any warcaster in any build, given the amount of. We promised we wouldn't do specific spoilers, but amphibious in the army.
There's a bit of interaction with shallow water in this.
I
in
like
this
how
faction,
that's
isn't
a
there?
spoiler.
Yeah, that's a great big spoiler.
Yeah.
Everyone absolutely shocked that lots of these warjacks that literally walk along the ocean floor have amphibious.
So I think the key visual for Dread Armada is one of these pirates just coming out of the sea, but they bring in this almost spectral sea with them, and you have these living embodiments of like swirling squalls and storms kind of just flooding across the tabletop, and you've got these amphibious jacks kind of, can you see them, can you not see them, hiding in the water. Yeah, there's some really flavorful things coming on here.
Just quickly as well, Charybdis is an incredible model.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So Devil's Shadow Mutineers. So these guys, actually, people may not remember so much as Crix as much as mercenaries.
They've been around, haven't they?
Yeah, they've done their time as mercenaries, but they are pure Dread Armada models, not mercenaries.
And these are quite infamous, actually. They are, they're not. They're kind of a unit of, what's the best way to describe them? Like, are they apparitions? Are they undead? Are they still human? It's difficult to tell in terms of the legends that surrounds these guys. They're incredibly resilient. They are basically former pirates that at some point went missing, and when they returned once more, they were dramatically changed. You know, in terms of their natures, in terms of how they manifest themselves, and actually keeping them dead, keeping them down, is proved to be almost impossible. Like you think that you've eliminated them, and then suddenly they'll just resurrect or reappear.
Yep.
And it's an incredibly mysterious unit, and I think that's largely said enough to pass over to you.
I mean, you pretty much covered their exact mechanics with a buff.
That was the design pillar, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Very hard to put down.
A very, very difficult unit to fully remove from the table. And if you don't fully remove from the table, they've got very strong mechanics that allow them to come back.
Great scenario pieces, these.
Yeah.
So Frenedax. Okay, so Frenedax is very excited about Frenedax. So Frenedax is, remember I said about the Lish Lords, the original pirate kings of the Shard Island. These guys are, this guy he's the original kind of leader of that band. He's the first one to actually be offered the pact by Torok, and he actually turns it down. He actually tries to unite everyone else around him and says to the other pirate lords, no, we can fight this huge titanic dragon. Not the greatest career choice.
Brave man.
Brave
Very
man.
brave.
Probably foolish.
Yeah.
And for his troubles, he gets utterly, almost annihilated really, but enough that they're able to trap or Torok especially is able to trap his soul. And purely for the purposes of simply torturing him for his hubris, for his stupidity, and trying to defy Torok.
And to set an example to everyone else is like, this is what happens.
Kind of, yeah. And so, as a result, he kind of endures for as long as Torok is interested by it, which we could span in hours, minutes, days, years. However, the Lord of Dragons will do whatever he wants. But basically, Frenedax suffers for an incredibly long time until, as a final act of punishment, Torok restores his body, or this semblance of a body, and we're going to see that in a moment, to sort of existence, which is this we see here, his immortal remains, and then just abandons it. And as a result, sort of anchors Frenedax's soul to that corpse as this kind of tormented. It's probably similar to akin to something like a scorned void spirit in terms of what's left. It's this sort of spirit that's driven utterly insane. It's kind of it just lashes out at everything, and it kind of leaves him just to be there, just torment other creatures really. And it's not until Raingrave sort of finds this and says, "Oh, I remember you, boss, and now I'm going to lash you to my ship and take you out and just basically use you to terrorize everything around."
Yep. And
that's kind of what Frenedax's fate is, and I'm really excited for us to actually explore this, because this is a definite part of Crixian history, which I think is super cool to explore. So.
But he's got a really cool mechanic as well,
He is,
hasn't he? Because of the two sort of states.
Well, let's pass you over then, in which case.
Yes, we've got.
Oops, I don't want to go too far. I want to go back.
We've got the Mortal Remains and the Ghost of Frenedax. The Mortal Remains is an immobile structure that you can deploy beyond your deployment zone. Obviously can't move, doesn't really do anything except anchor Frenedax, who is a solo who can go out with no distance tether to the Mortal Remains, but when he gets taken out, he will snap back to it, and the Mortal Remains will take a point of damage. If the Mortal Remains has been destroyed already, he'll die. And so there's this very, very interesting puzzle of where you're going to put his Mortal Remains, because they're very vulnerable. If you play it aggressively, this constantly recurring solo that can cause a lot of damage and cause a lot of chaos gets to act in the game and contribute every turn.
And there's a real kind of, as you say, delicious dilemma. And what I love about this is, and I've bored you guys silly about my love of Viking skills, Krups, and there's that kind of delicious agony of how far forward do you actually place your skills, because the further forward you are, the more advantageous it is, but the more vulnerable you are, and it's very much the same mechanic with this particular...
Yeah, I guess if Frenedax is returning, then got longer to get back in the game, right?
Right.
So,
Too far back,
yeah.
he's super safe, but his tempo is really slow. Too
Yeah.
far forward, his tempo is really quick, but he's very, very vulnerable. So really good model to kind of, I think, react to the board state and react to what your opponent's like.
So Statixis, they're one of the inhabitants of one of the islands of the Shard Islands. There's a whole bunch of them, and they are a race, of sort of a tribe of people who become infected by these two warring dragons, Toruk and one of his kin, and or his progeny, I should say. And as the blood rains down on their island, it mutates the people on there, and it dramatically changes them to something which, again, long-term Crixian players will easily remember as the Statixis. And although a lot of the Statixis magic is built around like sacrifices and blood magic, it's not all. A lot of the black ships that are part of the Black Fleet, and as various other different ships as well in the Crixian fleets and the Dread Armada, are powered by these sort of storms, these unnatural weather effects, as is what we talked about with the Dread Tides. And they kind of basically power these ships forward. It's one of the ways in which the Crixian Navy does prove to be so flexible, so adaptable, and so much stronger than everybody else, because they literally have the sea at their fingertips in terms of the control they have over it. And the Statixis Storm Witch is a great example of that. She's one of these mages that really controls the water rather than being focused around blood magic.
Yeah, the Statixis Storm Witch is incredibly central to the army. It's an army that's very... The Statixis as a package are very important to in general, and this is by far the most important of those models, because it's, aside from your Warcaster, it's the main way that you'll be summoning Dread Tides, and Dread Tides are very incredibly central to the faction for a number of reasons, both defensively to protect your forces, and then offensively to debuff the enemy.
Love it. Right, I'm going to click on.
So the Dredger.
Yeah.
I love these little guys.
legend. Look at him.
So
He looks happy.
just a cheerful guy. So yeah, well, obviously we have, when you're undead, time passes at a slightly slower pace than everybody else, but that doesn't mean your Warjack development stops. As we've seen with what the Necrofactorium have been doing. And the origin of the Dredger is really, people remember the Scavenger and the Shrike and those kind of flying bonejacks that existed, and this is really the most up-to-date version of that chassis, effectively, and then that kind of build. And honestly, that's probably the best I can do in terms of lore stuff. I mean, these things dive into the water to dredge for things and then fly back up again, and so they sort of finish around the ships and that sort of stuff. That's really the visual to accompany these guys.
I'm so excited to talk about the Dredger. It's one of the most fun models that I've had the privilege of developing. There's a number of different build options on this. It's modular. It can either act as a beacon for your army, tide calling to move Dread Tides into advantageous positions. It can act as a sort of spotter for all the army's ranged weapons, an arc node for spells, or you could go completely different route with it and flock a load of these little guys together.
Nice.
To literally dive bomb the enemy with singular, incredibly powerful attacks that can backfire.
Flying, fast, frightening, fun.
Correct.
Yes.
That is quite the sales pitch.
I mean, you should get a t-shirt. I was going to go with 5 Fs because I come from Essex, but I didn't think I was allowed to do that on the stream.
That's classic dodgeball. Flying, frightening, fast, fun, flying.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So if that's the, we've previously seen with the Dredger, it's the evolution of the sort of flying bonejack. This is the Helljack, and we all remember the amphibious Helljacks, the ones I mentioned, so the Leviathan, the Harrower. The last one escapes me off the top of my head, but certainly anyway, not the Inflictor maybe?
Desolator?
One of the, that might be closer. Anyway, regardless, this is kind of the evolution of the amphibious Crixian Warjacks. It's the Deep Stalker, so named because it does scuttle along the bottom of the ocean. It stalks through the deep, as Matt said, and the visual of it really is it emerging out of the sea to come and attack those coastal cities. It's accompanying the Warcasters and so on, because they are able to exist with their sort of specially shut-off furnaces, so they don't, the water doesn't get in and put it out or anything like those. I love these Warjacks. The actual model itself, I really like in terms of when you actually see it. You can't quite see it from there, but from the side, it's got a really cool silhouette.
Well, I think they're a real triumph in terms of the transition from the older chassis, which was in white metal, into the new material. Working in the resin just enables us to kind of make the structures feel like they're supposed to feel, rather than being bound by the metal. But
yeah, absolutely. And it's also worth pointing out, actually, we didn't kind of mention this, but obviously these Warjacks have got multiple loadouts. They're modular, same as the other ones. So there's a lot you can do with this in terms of tailoring it to what you want. But that seems like the bit where I hand over to you.
Yeah, so the Deep Stalker is a simple but effective chassis with 4 head options and 4 options in each arm. You can build this model to be very good in one direction and points efficient in one direction, but typically only one direction at the same time. If you want it to be a long range sniper, you can do that, but it's going to give up on its speed and its defensive capacity and its melee output. Conversely, you can build it as a frontline tank, again very effectively, but then its ranged output will be minimal, it's and short ranged, and its melee output will be lacking a little. Or you can build it to be a melee monster, but once again sacrificing the speed or the ranged output or something else. So you can be very, very efficient with how you build these, but then how you play them on the table.
is there one in the middle that's the jack of all trades?
No. But good fun.
Oh, yeah? No, there isn't.
No.
Maybe there should be.
Well, as Matt said earlier, it's definitely my advice on it is never leave home without at least 3 heavy Warjacks in your army.
Absolutely.
And these things are perfect for that. So,
Someone got a promotion.
and then some.
And then some, and an enormous beard.
Yeah, so Rengrave is a bit backstory on Rengrave. Rengrave is amongst the very first servants of the Dragonfather. His ship, the Atramentus, is actually Frenadax's ship originally. He's, as I mentioned earlier, Rengrave is one of his servants, one of his captains in his command, under his command, and Rengrave, as a result of this, spent a good 16 centuries just reaving around, marauding, and killing whatever he wants to in service of the Dragonfather. And skip forward to post-Infernal War, rebuilding, and when a certain Lich Lord Terminus wants to start putting his machinations into play, actually starts wanting to build up towards what the Dread Armada are doing. That's the stage where it's like, well, I need more firepower. And one of the things that the undead servants of the Dragonfather have as a sort of boon is that they can actually be imbued with the power of being able to be a warcaster. That's not something that mortals have. Mortals are either born with it, or they're maybe they're born with it, kind of thing. And to quote the line, but undead servants of the Dragonfather can be imbued with this, and Rengrave is, as you say, ready for a promotion and fits into what Terminus's game plan is. So that's what Rengrave is blessed with. And now we have a new chapter, effectively, for this incredibly infamous pirate.
He's really good. Tell us about him, Fraser. Come on.
So
Spoil some stuff.
Rengrave is very fun. So Rengrave, picture the classic zombie movie where there's this horde of undead pirates marching across the board, and they're not very fast and they're not very durable.
Yeah.
And you're on the other side of the table and you're gunning them down and you're having a great time doing so. However, as they die, Rengrave will get powered up.
Right.
And then he can use that power to imbue the remaining models on the table with an incredible surge of energy. So the last 20, 30, 40% of the list that survives the initial onslaught become very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a fun play style to
he'd be after his revenge and no mistake.
Very, very John Carpenter of you.
Very much.
Yeah, I love it.
Look at his lads.
Speaking of them,
Underwater Steve.
Yeah, this is absolutely choose your favourite Revenant. I'm about Deep Sea Steve in the middle.
Deep Sea Steve.
I love that model. But this is the crew of the Atramentos. This is Rengrave's buddies. This is who he hangs out with. So he goes to the bar with.
And you can put a lot of these on the table.
Put a
lot of these on the table.
Yeah, and these guys, their resilience, I mean, individually they're not super strong, but there are hordes of them, as you said. And they just keep coming, is the best way to describe it.
And these are units that are very, very fascinating from a development standpoint, because when they're with Rengrave, They are there to die and come back and to be empowered. With everyone else, their unique ability is very, very interesting. When they start to die, they can drop beneath the surface of the water to prevent the rest of them from going down. They become excellent at sitting on objective and controlling space.
Yeah, very tarry, aren't they? Yeah.
Nice. So Acrimony is another returning classic, and this is a witch that is bound to Rengray's crew. So we're sticking with Rengray's focus for the moment, but she's bound to. She's basically an old witch, or not old witch, but a witch who focused a lot of her life's efforts into learning dark magic and really manipulating the tides, manipulating kind of various different bits of fate and that sort of stuff. And at that point, kind of got the interest of the Ghost Fleet of Rengrave, and at that point he went and captured her and bound her to his service.
Nothing stays dead for long around her.
Do we need to say more, I guess?
Warms the cockles of my heart, it does.
So I mean, obviously we've so let's
I might do a pirate quote after every bit now.
Excellent.
I started a bit of a theme.
Okay.
Also, Deep Sea Steve is trending now.
I mean, should do. It's
It
a
should
legend.
do.
So, Shard Island, obviously, there's not just undead pirates here. We see here. We've obviously seen the Styxis already. Spoiler: there's going to be others. But anyway, there's all sorts of people inhabiting the Shard Islands. We have Ogryn. We see here. We have Gobbers. We have humans. Styxis. There's a whole bunch, and these are the Ogryn. These are absolutely fantastic. I keep looking at these guys and just really falling in love with the models. I really do love them. They're amazing. But I mean, these are blighted Ogryn who are in service of the Dragonfather. They're in the pirate fleet, and at that point, I'm really going to hand over to Fraser because these things did bad things to me last time we played.
I'm going to be 100% honest. If the absolutely gigantic cannons they are carrying do not give away what they do on the table, I got nothing for you.
That's true. What's
They're
better than one
annoyingly
cannon? 3 cannons.
Annoyingly good at shooting down Kifgard guard posts.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
That's exactly what they are.
Guard your guard post better.
It's hard. I guess it's like shield guards to stop them from murdering them.
I love these guys.
So let's go back to the Atramentos, and we'll
Yes.
go back to the
Character
to
solo.
the Ghost Fleet. So Blackbane, no longer leader of a unit per se, as he was before. He's now solo. So he is. He's kind of the leader of the bravest members of the Atramentos' crew. So when Torok sort of lands and just devastates the Atramentos with fire, Blackbane and his sort of mates are right at the front, really willing to resist the Dragonfather, and thus they are the first to be destroyed by that fire, which is kind of sad for them. But not so bad in that when they rise again, they're bound in service in a different way to the Revenants. Rather than being these sort of zombie-like creatures, they're actually raised as wraiths, as ghosts, and that's what they are. And if we move on to the next guys, I think the next slide, we'll see the other members of this as well.
I'm not going to do that yet because we're going to talk a little bit about.
We can do so. You sort of see him, and obviously we have the others as well to go with. So
Yeah.
So Blackbane, while he may not lead a unit directly anymore, he does have an awful lot of synergy with his incorporeal friends.
Yeah.
Using them as a vehicle to show up wherever he wants, whenever he wants, and also to keep them ghostly for longer than they should typically be.
And he's an absolute triumph because I think we had a long discussion, didn't we? That the original intent was he was on a 30mm base, but when the sculpt came back from the sculpting team, we're like, that would look better on a 40. Can we make that work? We can make that work. And he looks incredible on a 40mm. Really good sort of central figure, right in the middle of this lot.
I love these sculpts. The same as Blackbane, to be fair. Like they're so dynamic, they're so fluid. It's amazing. But I've kind of my part. These are the Ghost Raiders. Are really, as you probably summed it up, they're Blackbane's ghostly mates. They're incorporeal friends.
Get your airbrushes ready for that.
Yeah,
That's an airbrush unit if ever I've seen one.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are incorporeal. They're probably the first incorporeal unit in the game to act like ghosts. They will literally show up, materialize from nowhere in the middle of the opposing army to cause havoc. They're very fun.
Havoc they be causing.
Oh, it's got 2 for 1 there.
So I mean, I know in the comments people went to see Scar. Here she
It's
is.
not Dread Armada without Scar, surely.
Well, she's the leader of the whole thing. Yeah,
She's the leader.
That's a terrible pirate quote.
It is, isn't it?
So Scar, as in previous times, she's been promoted to, long since, in fact, to being the leader of all of the Crixian fleets, and this is the Queen of the Dread Armada. So a little bit of backstory, I guess, about Scar, because there will be some people who aren't necessarily familiar with her, but she's the Queen of the Styxis sort of tribe. So she is the leader of all of them. She's from a famed family of rulers, although it's not hereditary. You get to be ruler. You need to be cunning, you need to be fierce, you need to prove your worth, and she's definitely done that. She absolutely is a not blood witch in terms of that has loaded terms. Obviously we have blood witch as part of what this is, but she's a practitioner of blood magic, of dark ritual. She's very much able to sort of see the future and augury. She believes that in her sacrifices she kind of sees the messages of the dragon father in entrails and blood and remains and sort of the grisly things. So she's very much a character that's been at the sort of centre, really, of a lot of Crixian lore and a lot of Crixian story.
Well, commitment to the cause is unshakable, because if you look at the way that Styxis work, they tend to operate in these cycles where they go out raiding, and when they've raided enough, they tend to come home and do all the, I guess, the jobs that they left to do at home, and like the building and the farming and all that kind of sort of stuff. But then before they go out raiding again, she's been on a permanent raid for how long?
Well,
Forever,
exactly that. I mean, I mean, Scar. Well, she's had to have some time of rebuilding her fleets, I should say, since obviously the Infernal Wars. But absolutely,
Can't wait to paint her.
Yeah, she's a cool model. But
Cracking model. Tell us about gameplay.
Oh yeah, so as you say, Scar is absolutely mastered every element of leading the Crixian Armada, whether that she's at the head of a giant ghost fleet or she's leading smaller scale raids, and the latter is what her gameplay focuses on this time, where she will lead a very, very nimble, quick band of Styxis to the enemy shores to plunder them for resources before retreating very, very quickly. And she's very, very fast, very, very tactical, very scenario focused, with a lot of very interesting tricks to catch the opponent off guard.
I think one thing. Oh no, I thought it was going to be another thing. Let's talk about Angrim first. I want to talk about the Styxis.
I mean, I'm going to hold fire on Angrim a little bit from a lore perspective, because there's interesting things to talk about.
There's interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'll give one thing, which is Angrim is a Styxis.
Yeah, so Angrim, like if you look very, very closely, has Styxis horns. Angrim literally has the Styxis tag, and thus gets synergy with everything that says the word Styxis, and then also provides synergy to other Styxis models. Very, very central to a Scar list, but can be used with any list that wants to bring one of the several Styxis units in the army to the table.
Angrim's pretty cool.
Angrim is pretty cool. So let's talk about Styxis. So one of the things that we felt was a really good opportunity for this being a digital deployment was us to be able to give people a choice, and we scoured the history books and made sure that we were absolutely in line with the canon, and this is the first time that you're going to see a male Styxis model available if you want to field male Styxis as part of your raiders.
Yeah, we talked about it's been in since the early days. Well, the days of the IK RPG. It's covered in the Nightmare Empire book, and it's something where it's a cool look at what Styxis society is. And this isn't necessarily a flag in the ground. It's more a statement of the sort of diversity in their society, really. And I think it's cool. Like ultimately, you can make your Styxis units look exactly how you want.
And on the table, the Styxis, the Marauders and other units are a great example of the designs and the design principles that went into the gameplay for the Dread Armada, where Crix very classically stack debuffs on the enemy rather than empower their own attacks, and then they get benefit from that by having multiple lower accuracy, lower power attacks, which become higher accuracy, higher power against enemy models that have multiple debuffs on them. And that's what the Styxis do. They're quick, they have multiple weaker attacks, but when you start stacking things on top of each other, they become very dangerous.
Yeah.
There's two types of Citicus, isn't there?
I mean, there's a whole bunch of Citicus out there. They fill a multitude of roles in the army, and I mean, you might as well keep rolling. At this point.
Well, so the Reavers are like the Marauders, but they've got guns.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. And the models are fantastic.
They really are. So Nara Dirge, again, another new character. This one, she is. The best way to describe her, and we will have heroes and villains and all sorts to talk about her as a backstory, but she's effectively, think of her as an up-and-coming member of Scar's Black Fleet. She's an up-and-coming captain. She's very, very... Jill, I'm going to let you pass over to you first, because I was about to start talking about her gameplay, and that's not my place to do that. But super aggressive kind of character, really, and she's very much like this ambitious Citicus that sees a role for herself in really sort of stepping into command of the Black Fleet itself.
Nara her gameplay very much represents that tipping point between someone who's out to prove themselves to their captain and their commanders, and someone who is just about ready to step into a leadership role, marrying a very high potential combat solo with someone who has support abilities that can really enable other Citicus models around them to do extra damage.
Oh yeah, I've been on the receiving end of that a few times, and it is quite miserable.
There's a reason why we know with the gameplay of this one.
It hurts.
Yeah. So Bloodhags, again, we've kind of already covered a lot of what Citicus do.
But they're one of the. I still have fond memories of them from Mark II days.
There's so many iconic Citicus units, right? So
the theme in Black Fleet is that they get to run multiple lesser cost models with lower stats than what you would typically see. This includes Warjacks. And this is where the Citicus Bloodhags come in to be the Dread Armada's equivalent of your classic Emperor unit to give out focus. Their particular spin on it is that they can sacrifice themselves, so there's a cost to this because the model does get removed from play, but they give out a huge amount of focus and an aura around them, and also unique very important abilities like rerolls, magic weapons, healing, etc. A very, very central unit to the army, like very important in a support capacity.
Yeah. So the Revenant Cannon, I mean, this is this is the cannon, really. This is, I love this model. As much as I love the render, and that render is super cool and looks thematic, like it doesn't quite do the model justice in terms of the size.
Not quite. It's on an 80mm base, so if you think those Revenants are actually 32mm scale, so that is quite a big cannon.
It's a huge cannon.
It's like a truck.
It really does. Yeah. Fraser, over to you. I mean, it's a massive cannon from the Atramentos, and the model is one of my favourites. I love this thing.
It's also a lot of fun to play. So this is a model that we've had some fun with giving it lower stats in order to facilitate a very unique gameplay style. So it can move, but it's very low speed. So it can run, but after it's run into position, it's going to find it very difficult to subsequently reposition itself. So it's largely going to be firing from the spot it picks. It's quite long ranged, and it's very high POW, and it has not critical devastation, it just has devastation when it hits something.
Devastation.
So whatever it hits is going to be bowled d6 inches away from it into something else. So your opponent can predict these trajectories and set up their models to try and prevent key things having their own models
slammed all over the place,
thrown into them, and it's up to you to find the bits where they've just
you can have a devastation and you can have a devastation.
Got that right. It's very, very fun.
Let's see if I can do it. Gar, blow the man down.
Blow the man down.
There you go.
I like it. Nicely done.
I can't do accents.
Ooh, brand new leader model.
Brand new leader. Malrone. So Malrone is actually, in the grand scheme of things, we remind a lot of our Crixian pirates are centuries old. Malrone's not. Malrone's actually a relatively new character to the Iron Kingdom. She's a mercenary warcaster in her living form who basically is Ordic. She operates out of Five Fingers, and she's kind of a mercenary known for having very few scruples, being very boastful and all sorts. But in the sort of post-Infernal War years, she survives the Infernal Wars, and in the post years that she's there, really in peacetime, a lot of those mercenary contracts drop off because people don't necessarily need a lot of work to do this sort of stuff when there's not open warfare happening. And as a result, she kind of turns to dueling to make money in the fighting pits in Five Fingers, and that's where she gets these 2 pistols, and we'll go into that in Heroes and Villains, and but she gets them from a gun mage.
Nice.
And she
Hopefully
carries
from the gun mage's corpse.
definitely from a gun mage's
I
corpse.
lifted it from their corpse, I did.
Just nailed it.
She has got a
Again.
very deep manly voice.
So that's and she kind of becomes quite infamous for those 2 pistols, and she she carries on being a duelist until she kills the wrong person one day. So Baron's rich Signar and Baron's son, and immediately is forced to go on the run, and she disappears off into the basically into the sort of around the Shard waters around the Shard Islands, and then is never seen again for a period of 5 or so years or so.
Right.
When she returns, she's this wraith. She's no longer the way that she used to be. This is Malrone as we see her here. And she's a dramatically different kind of character. She's got this rictus grin at all times. She's terrorizing sort of coastal cities now, and she's part of the pirate fleet.
Her gameplay is unique within the faction, that she is very, very focused around ranged, whereas a lot of Cricks often are melee focused. She will pick areas of the board and tell your opponent that area is incredibly dangerous. She can change that area on a turn-to-turn basis.
Yep.
And then the rest of her forces use rules like beat back and other like small movement effects to try and shepherd the opposing
into
models
those
into
dangerous
those
areas.
dangerous areas.
Yeah, the kill lanes, as it were. Yeah.
And then unleash devastation on those models.
Oh, a nice reference back to the big cannon.
Oh yes.
Speaking of cannons, anyone in chat know if Arsenal's managed to sign a striker before the end of the transfer window? Because fingers crossed. Yes! Finally! Look at the size of him. We had to shrink him down to make him fit.
Go, Matt. I'm not going to try and take away from Terminus.
I don't need to introduce Terminus. Everyone knows who he is. He's unbelievably the best model in the entire game.
So Matt's quite the fan. So Terminus is Terminus is one of the Lish Lords, which, if you're not familiar with Crixian terms, means he's basically the only person he reports to is the Dragon Father himself. Like, is Toruk, and that's it.
Yeah.
He is ostensibly the commander of the Dread Armada, although he's since kind of given that to Scar, who operates under him.
Yeah.
And he's sort of retired to really plan all of the different incursions into the mainland, which the Dread Armada are going to start being involved in from a story perspective, and we're going to see some more of that sort of early next year onwards, and we're going to start to see some of that manifesting. And at this point, he's been planning these different incursions. He's been sort of overseeing the rebuilding of the Dread Armada. He's been plotting, scheming, all of these different things. All of his machinations are now starting to come into play, and he's pretty cool.
Phrase, tell us. Base size, and is he front line?
Oh, so Terminus is an 80 mil base size, but that doesn't even do him justice. He's mechanically probably closer to a 120 than an 80.
Yeah.
If at any point in the game Terminus is not the furthest forward model you have, you're not playing him wrong.
You're not playing him right, yeah.
Terminus makes the whole game about Terminus.
Yeah.
He is the main man. He will tank attacks onto himself to stop them going onto his army.
For funsies.
Yeah. And the longer he'll dare the opponent to pull the trigger on attacking him, because the longer they wait to do it, the stronger he becomes.
Right.
Throughout the game up to turn 7, where he's just this unstoppable machine.
I think what I like the most about the rules you've made for Terminus is he feels like a Lish Lord should feel like, this incredibly powerful undead creature which has existed for centuries, if not longer, and is really just so incredibly powerful. The most you can probably hope to do is banish it, unless you're within being of such insane power yourself. Like, Terminus really does feel like it's this dominating presence on the tabletop, and that's so cool to see.
And I would say that because he's a digital file, you can scale him up to be as big as you want, but we've already done that for you. he fits where he touches on an 80 mil base.
Yeah, you are not joking when you say you shrunk him down.
He's a big boy.
Like Warcasters, typically you do assassination runs on them on one turn, but Terminus is like a 3-turn assassination run.
Yeah. He's like a boss in a video game where he has 3 different cycles.
3 different
stages.
phases. Yeah, I love it. Oh, I don't want to click on, but onwards we must go away. There, look at them all. That's what it looks like to fight a Rengrave army.
That really is. Yeah, that's an artist's impression of a Rengrave army coming at you. Yeah, absolutely. They're as Fraser says, even with the appropriate mist as well. So yeah,
Fabulous looking army. Been a hell of a lot of fun to play test, hasn't it? And put them out, and I've lost count of the amount of games that we've played where you've set up and I've gone, how many models have you got? And I'm trying to match him model. And
then Fraser says, "Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot some.
I forgot some. Yeah. Here's another tray. Yeah, very cool. Right, what's the next slide? Can I click on China? I can click on. Oh, so just a reminder and the obligatory, super useful QR code to put October 15th in your diary, and then find us on the Frontiers. Get involved, and don't forget, if you don't have access to a 3D printer and you're not into that kind of dark art, then we will almost certainly be doing a physical option to help you out. We want as many people playing Black Fleet as possible. The what? Say it out loud. It's behind camera China.
There'll be a physical option in the Frontier.
Shit, we've never done that before, have we? The first time we've ever done it. There'll be a physical pledge in the Frontier itself, and I did swear, and I'm allowed 1 swear word a stream. It's a new rule I've just invented.
We should have China Cam for these sort of things, so she can immediately see. People can see what we see on that when that happens.
You want me to go forward?
No, this was, I think, the part we're going to go to. We're going to switch people.
Oh, so we're going to have a quick commercial break with no commercials, just so we can swap some people in and out, and then have a little look at the roadmap.
As we ease into protectional streaming.
Protectional. That be the end of the Dread Armada section.
We're back again. We've changed chairs. We're in the original formation.
Yeah.
2 hours later, we're back here again.
It's sad news because we're coming to the close sort of area now.
Yeah.
Been a lot of
2 hours later, and I haven't done my Duolingo.
Oh, we've got to get you in so you keep your streak going.
Dude, that's another freeze gone. It's costing me a fortune.
Oh, nightmare situation. But ignoring your sad Duolingo news,
Yeah.
we have some very exciting news.
Yes.
Which is moving along the physical roadmap and how it's going to look. I'm probably surrounded by the 2 best people to talk about that.
Hopefully. Yeah.
One on my left, one on my. I got it in a studio.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm
My
gonna
mum knows when anything's coming out. So he's finding out live now, aren't you?
Yeah, literally.
I'm loving this. Yeah.
He's like a year ahead already.
I
on
work,
stuff.
I work so far ahead. It's often a period of discovery for me when they're actually going to get released. Yeah.
And this is just reruns for you at this point.
Yeah, no,
You
this
say,
is
"Oh, I remember
fantastic.
this."
Oh, yeah, that was
Oh,
cool.
that was good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll hand over to you.
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So obviously we've got a bit of an on-day roadmap. It takes us up to November, which is our lock and load event.
Very exciting.
So a bunch more at that one. I can't talk too much about that because China will kill us.
In cold blood.
Absolutely, yeah.
What, Upload US?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah.
It's going to hit different.
Can't
gonna be
wait.
good.
That's going to be amazing. We're going to talk more about the Dread Armada, surely.
Surely.
There's going to be a
got
lot
it.
of stuff by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be out by then. So, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll definitely
Yeah.
be talking
Definitely
about
be
it.
talking about it.
Yeah. We can't go anymore because you will guarantee spoil something we're not allowed in the second.
Look at him, he's so
yeah.
excited.
I'm
I
gonna
feel the
cut
need
back
to
in.
spoil
I'm
something.
gonna cut
but
back
yeah,
in.
we'll see.
You've had
I'm twitching.
You've
like,
had your single swear
Well,
words.
Yeah,
We'll see.
that's it. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
cut the
getting more
mic,
and
kill
cut
the mic.
mics now. So September, as you've seen, Court of Shadows Iron Box coming out for the Fane, which is pretty awesome, kind of finishing that bit off. And then the final box kind of coming out, so that's all kind of done. So basically Fane is kind of wrapped up then. We have obviously Drago that we said as well in September. So right now the Court of Shadows and that are available. And the final box coming in October for Fane, which is kind of cool.
Lines perfectly up with the spooky season.
It absolutely does. And then Menoth start to dawn on our door. So as we saw in the awesome preview, the Menoth start rolling out from October, which is very cool, into November. And then the final box being January for Menoth.
We've already got it in the calendar for 2027.
Already in there.
On the fridge, ready to go.
Locked in. There is obviously a few extra surprises on this slide. So Southern Creel's Dozer and Smig Super Heavy coming out in October, which is really
Ooh,
cool.
he's next on my painting table.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah,
As soon as I get home.
You got him lined up. And then the Sturge, I can never pronounce this one, Arboreth.
Close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Like 80%,
I'm known
right?
for my pronunciations.
80%.
They're not good. Yeah. So yeah, first time we're revealing the name of that 80mm solo, which is kind of cool for Fane. And then November as well, we've got the Gorgia, Carrying Gorgia Super Heavy for Fane. Again, really kind of cool that thing's coming out. First time revealing the name of that, and along with, and again, do you want to pronounce this one? Because I can't pronounce the Gargantuan.
The Gargantuan. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to embarrass myself. I'll do a Nocturnus.
There you go.
I did it in a pirate.
There we go,
You've got
Sherry,
the
yeah.
pirate twang
I've
still.
got the
You
pirate
can't
tag.
shake it off.
That went a bit,
Nocturnus.
that bit went West Country though, didn't it?
Fane of Nero in the West
In
Country.
the West Country.
So yeah, so obviously those
Tyrant Nocturnus.
exciting new and the finish off the Fane. That will be all the releases of Fane. At that stage.
Yeah.
That's a
I
pretty
mean,
big little hints, some
there's a
hints
lot
on
of hints
there.
there, innit?
That's some
Yeah.
pretty amazing stuff.
I think we should leave it there, right, Matt?
No.
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 Not happy.
Look
not
how
happy.
look how
Okay.
ready he is. Let him
Apart
off the
from
lead.
anything, we talked about Cult of Pain and the fantastic job they did with Menoth and
Yeah.
the Covenant of the Flame. We can't forget the fantastic work that Josh has done. Josh Berman, follow him on Instagram at Quarterpaint, and the work that he's done on Fane of Nero. I feel the need.
Look at he's gonna click.
Oh, here we go.
Let's have a little look. We've just revealed the
Oh.
names, but let's have a look at them.
Oh,
Oh,
Sturge Abereth,
ridiculous.
incredible.
80mm solo.
Yeah,
The posing, the painting, it's got it all.
it's got it all.
What more do you
It's got
need?
it all.
Josh
Yeah.
has smashed that.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
Unbelievably good. That thing hits like a truck.
And you can click again.
I might click again. It might say the end of the slide, or it
Oh,
might.
it might be something.
Oh,
Oh,
120mm base, Tyrant Nocturnus.
This thing is stunning. Like having the model up here, like there's a lot of details you can't see on this one yet, and we'll show it when the full reveal with the stained glass.
Stained glass. So
on the
yeah,
base.
that column he's leaning on is
Yeah.
actually a shattered wall that's fallen over that has stained
It's
glass
absolutely
window on it
stunning.
and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
as if the Fane needed more incredible looking models.
It's a beautiful way to round them. the mount,
Honestly,
and,
bookending it in a phenomenal way.
And the game we haven't shown the carrying yet, so there's still some surprises.
We've
still.
got a few things up our sleeves,
Yeah.
but that's it. That's
Yep.
the spoilers. I'm not going to tease you anymore. We've shown you two cool things at the end.
Do you feel satisfied
I feel
now? Yeah,
happy
you're
now.
happy now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel happy now. I'm ready.
Duolingo's the sad, but this is the happy.
I've released the need, and now we can move on to the Q&A.
The Q&A.
section.
Q&A.
We're going to get a few more guests appearing.
Yeah,
and
we're
we'll
going to get a
everyone
few
in.
of the guys back.
We get a little bit
so
cozier.
Give
so
us
be right
30
back in a few
seconds, and
seconds.
we'll have a quick rearrange.
We'll be knee to
Absolutely.
knee.
Love it.
And we're back, and we've multiplied. Look at that. The final iteration, like
Final
MCU.
form.
Well,
Yeah.
MCU's arranging the Avengers. I feel like this is our version. I would say infinitely better.
I love that.
Infinitely
I love
better.
that.
You know. But we're doing the Q&A. We've got so many questions within the chat, so bear with us. The first one is: will Legacy Black Fleet still be its own army? Who am I passing that to? There you go, take it over.
This one. Yes, it will still be its own army, entirely independent from Dread Armada.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Can you make like, all of them together? It's going to be a happy crew. Also, by the way, Matt Pirate is trending everywhere.
Is it?
Everyone's loving your pirate impressions. It's incredible. So we've got
Don't
another.
encourage me.
You need no encouragement.
Whatever you do, don't encourage
You
me.
need no encouragement. Will we see a return of any of the Slaughter Fleet models?
Well, I saw that comment and it gave me an idea. So one of the fantastic things about this being digital deployment is we have a lot of flexibility with that kind of stuff. So never say never.
Well, we've got obviously although we're doing the Frontier, we've actually already confirmed that we are doing the subscription part in January as well.
We've talked about that as well, haven't we?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I was
so-
dancing
yeah,
around the.
so you're
I was
dancing.
skirting around that.
So, and that
Yeah.
might give some hints of what might be in some of that content. Maybe.
Maybe some some slaughterball.
Yeah, we had another Slaughter Fleet in the Dread Armada question as well. So clearly people are vibing this Slaughter Fleet idea.
Big fan of Gerlach and his lads.
Clearly. What else have we got? Everyone is loving Menoth. Everyone is loving the Dread Fleet. It's crazy. When will we get Trid of Legacy armies? Anyone say trio?
When we get rid of Legacy.
Oh, rid of Legacy armies.
I think it's a typo from
Never. Never, never, never. Will the Dread Armada... Never.
That's legacy for you.
Yeah. Will Dread Armada be getting a Colossal? Kraken update question. I can't...
I mean, it's one of those ones where I'd go, we're crazy not to, but
Well,
neither
yeah.
confirm nor deny at this stage.
And like, what? Just can you imagine how that's going to look?
I know how it looks. I
You
mean,
know? Can
Just
you
imagine how
imagine?
that's
Can
gonna
you
look.
imagine?
Yeah, yeah.
Tay, are you going to paint it?
yes. I mean, if it exists.
If it exists.
If it exists. So when
Yeah,
it
it's
paint-
such a
yeah,
thing
In a
ever.
hypothetical world.
In a
where it exists.
hypothetical world, will you be the one
You get
painting
me
it?
in more trouble with China than you can possibly imagine.
Hey, I'm not doing any of this. This
Wasn't
is
me, it
all
was
down to
Stu.
you. Why is Pyrus working with Feora?
That's a fast sharing question.
That's a you question.
Oh, you
Hand
wanna
over the
hold it?
mic.
All right.
I'll hold it.
Oh, he likes to control the mic.
Apparently so. So there's we will dive into this when we actually get to the Covenant of the Flame compendium. There's I don't want to say a slight retcon there because it's not per se. There's a moment where Pyrrhus is going to sit down with Feora, and not figuratively, but there'll be a moment where the two will come back into contact, and we'll have that more explained in. I don't want to give away too much of the story because there's a pretty cool story piece that's actually going to come out around the time of the Covenant of the Flame release that we're going to build into, and that's part of it. So, but yeah.
I mean, we've given out a lot tonight, so holding a little bit back, that's sometimes a good thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Lovely. We've got another one. We've got two on the same one. When are we getting... It's got them Dread Armada rules, so I'm thinking that's very piratey, Frank. That they're Dread Armada rules.
I don't know. When is the? I mean, I am the world's worst person to ask about actual release dates.
rules-wise, well, we're going to start obviously on the run-up to October 15th. We'll start to preview kind of those things. Again, we didn't want to overburn it tonight. We've given a lot of stuff tonight, so yeah, it was more kind of, and obviously Fraser's give some overviews of some of the key bits and mechanics. But yeah, on the run-up, we'll go through that. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. This might be a more gameplay lore-based question. Is when is the Circle of Ouroboros going to be making a comeback?
That is absolutely something that my poker face is locked in on.
Yeah.
The shutters are down on that one. We've had another comment about the pricing on the Dread Armada. Is that something we're going to keep back?
That'll
reveal?
be revealed before we do.
Before we go.
Frontier. Yeah.
But obviously incredibly well priced, and
Yeah,
you
like,
get so much.
Again, we do, the digital world lets us do some really cool stuff on pricing, and yeah, it lets us explore that. So we will make sure we are respectful of digital pricing.
Of course,
for the way
of
it is.
course.
Yeah.
It's worth it, totally worth it. I mean, those
Yeah.
sculpts, forget about it, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, there's a lot of work. I think the cool thing about the Dread Armada is, like, compared to some of the other stuff we've done in Digital World, which has kind of been taking old models and giving them a slight glow up or a slight tweak, this is a full, like you said, a full primer, a full reboot of them. So it's the first time we're trying this. The reception seems to be great from what we've seen in the comments. So yeah, look, if you like it, yeah.
And where are you going to get that many beards for
There's a
that
lot of
sort
beards,
of price?
yeah.
It's incredible. We
Yeah.
love it. This is maybe a showing one. Will we ever get a lore book? This isn't relating to like Meloth or the Dread Armada, but will we ever get a lore book on either of them? What's the poker face? Where's that gone? It's like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, look, physical books is something that we'd love to do. Matt and I especially, we've talked about that a lot. For the meantime, to whet your appetite, there's a whole bunch of compendium content on the app. If you jump into that, and there's a lore section for it where a whole bunch of that stuff is detailed. Each of those are kind of the size of one of the old Forces Elf books you might be familiar with from Mark II or Mark III. And obviously there is currently a Humble Bundle where if you really want to get a whole bunch of lore stuff, there's a Humble Bundle happening right now which gives you access to about 40 something books from the old Skull Island expedition stuff, including stories about some of the Dread Armada content, all sorts. So definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, that's something we'd love to do, and we'll look forward to go forward with.
I mean,
Sorry, I'm going to flag a question. We've got people asking if Resnick's coming back.
If Resnick's coming back,
Resnick?
how many spoilers do you want to give?
before we weren't supposed to give out.
I know. Is Resnick coming back, Jamie? There you go. Yeah.
That's a very exciting question to ask, I think.
That was an incredibly nothing answer.
Wasn't bad, was it?
I liked it.
We love Resnick.
Yeah. What size Resnick? If you had to bring,
Size?
if you had to say a millimetre, what size would he be?
I mean, we've seen 40, we've seen 120. There's some sizes in between we haven't been to.
60.
We could have a
Big fans of 80,
I
aren't
wouldn't
we?
say 60. 80 is a good number.
80's a good
80's a
number.
really
Yeah.
good number. Yeah.
Mine went a new base size when you got 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Impactful, but not too much.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It just fits in your hand.
It's that nice happy middle.
If I can a little bit, I think if
What, drag us back to being serious?
no,
Save us.
I think if Fiora's coming back, and if I've seen a few people in the comments saying, well, how comes Fiora can come back into the Protectorate after the civil war that happened at the end of the Infernal War? Well, I think some people bring quite a lot of legitimacy to her actions with their words. Someone who might have stuck around and kind of be all about the purity of worshipping Menoth and might recognise something in this covenant going forward.
Indeed.
I don't know who that could be. It probably rhymes with Besnik.
Sure. Sure.
I know,
Very
right?
subtle.
Who would
Very
guess that?
subtle.
No, not me.
So what, we're giving away things and we're doing brain teasers at the end as well now? We're giving it all. That was good. I liked it though. We've got another question that Jamie and I flagged, which is, what's the roadmap for Reaper Covenant?
Ooh, it's not
'Cause
Reaper talking time at the moment.
It is, no.
It's where we
Well, I think it's
talk
fair.
quarters, don't we? It's early next year.
There you go. Yes, because it's fair to talk about Reaper a bit because it's kind of been the unspoken thing that like Reaper. We talked about Reaper quite a bit ago.
Yes.
And honestly, like the absolute mass amount of like requests and asks for Covenant of the Flame, we decided it was the right thing for them to leapfrog Reaper at the time. But it doesn't mean that Reaper disappeared.
Well, lock and load. Get ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Get ready.
Serious things go down at Lock and Load.
Spoiler alert, me and Russ are working on sculpts right now.
There you go. There you
And
go.
they look legit.
Yeah.
And I'm totally not writing stories about them.
Totally not, no? Yeah, casual. People were very excited for anything colossal this evening. Bigger is better. And we've got one about a Gravediggers Colossal? Question mark.
This comes up every time.
Gravediggers Colossal.
Question mark.
Tell the new guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me. Tell my day one. Come on. Tell me day one.
Yeah.
There are currently no plans for a 120 mil for Gravediggers. But plans change.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Everything is very just hinty, just enough.
Just a little bit. In all seriousness, I've always said with Gravediggers that if we can think of a concept that actually genuinely works and makes sense and is playable at the table, then absolutely. But because of the nature of the army and the way that they play and the way they set up and the way that they are in the narrative, that's not as straightforward as other factions have been. So at the moment, if we're not going to be able to do it correctly and do it properly, then we're not going to do it.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has said, why does Matt always look like he's about to explode with spoilers?
Because I am. I'm quivering. I love it.
It's the pirate talk.
Oh, I do.
We let you off the leash with the pirate talk and the West Country,
Right.
and now you've just run with it, and we're
That's
here
it.
for it. The energy is infectious.
I'll do my Welsh accent soon. It's really
This one?
bad.
We've got another one. Is will Dread Armada be able to take the Cephalex Cadra?
No.
Do you see how hard I tried pronouncing that question? You can't just know it. Stonewall it.
Yeah.
No. Done.
No, they will not.
And why? Would you like to enlighten us on that?
I can help. They get seasick.
Yeah, okay.
That could
Fair
work.
enough.
Yeah.
That's not canon until now, but I'm giving Fraser an out.
Yeah. Just trying to find some more questions. But I mean, the whole thing is just insane. Like the sculpts, everything we've revealed tonight is just awesome.
Good.
You guys done an amazing job.
We can ask you a question. What was your favourite model you saw this time?
What was my favourite model?
I was asking the audience.
Oh, right. I thought you meant me. I was just like, I'll tell you, it's the church. My guy, the church, just like hulking behemoth. It's amazing. Quiver, Matt, quiver. Yeah, we love that. Yeah, Pirate Matt is just everywhere. Spooktacular, as in spectacular.
Well
for
played to that.
Crick Dread
We'll do
Armada.
like a pun.
Crickmas as well. Everyone's
Yeah.
saying it's
Happy
Crickmas all at
Christmas.
once. Happy
Love
Christmas
it.
to everyone. People loving on the Storm Witch, which is great. People are coming in with their favourite models. Terminus is getting loads of love.
Yes, correct.
Storm Witch. People are just saying tentacles as well, obviously. I
Yeah.
mean, we just love it. Terminus. Yeah, I mean, we've hit a home run with Terminus. Let's just leave it at that. Dozer and Smig. Is that something we're talking about? I've got a few questions about Dozer and
Yeah,
Smig.
can do.
Yeah?
Yeah, we can say some things.
Let's say some
You're just going to say no?
No. No, yes. I'm going to say something other than no.
Oh, good.
So we're not going to give away specifics, but Dozer has an absolutely enormous gun on his back, which Smig likes to fire a lot.
How much, though? A lot?
A lot.
Whoa, you know it's bad when it's a
I mean,
lot,
that
a
was
lot.
literally the elevator pitch for the design, wasn't it? Yeah.
We've got another one. How tall is the Tyrant Nocturnus?
Tyrant Nocturnus. I think he's more
he's
broad than he
wide,
is
yeah,
tall.
yeah.
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 He's got quite a lot of space.
He is-
There's a fair degree of overhang
Definitely,
on the
yeah.
120 mil base.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, he's
China
occupying
might be
mass.
bringing-
China's gonna
China's
get him.
bringing.
Oh,
Okay,
we're
we-
bringing it online.
Bring it
We are about to see the unique thing that is a China spoiler. I don't know the world's
Yeah.
ever seen that
Very
before.
rare.
This is
Unheard
It's
of.
infectious,
Yeah.
isn't it?
This is
It's
the-
your energy. It's just seeping out.
Surprise of the whole crew.
It's where the
Yeah.
panics. She
No one's
brings it
ready
across
for
and
this.
panics are dropping it
watch
now.
the cables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is everybody ready for the China spoiler?
Johnny, you should show it off on camera.
Hands got it.
There we go.
I don't know how you can see this, but yeah, so a bit higher up. So
Occupying
Absolutely.
mass.
Everyone's scared now.
Look at that.
huge, and then you can see if I just turn it around. You
Stained
see
glass
the
with.
stained
I mean-
glass. Probably won't be able to see it on the thing, but
Take it
to
slow,
the
take it
camera.
Go on, Matt.
Careful! Don't grab the wings, lad.
Not block the light. There you go.
Yeah.
You can see with the light. But yeah, full 120 mil base, magnetised. Don't magnetise your models, just super glue them.
Don't super glue them.
Occupying a lot of space, but it's humongous.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, you look great taking that on camera. You're just made for this.
Oh, great.
You're just absolutely made for this. China spoiler. Someone's taking crazy pills because of a China spoiler. We'll get China spoiler trending everywhere as well. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's quite like you say, it's quite a wide model, but the tail, the wings, just give it a massive presence on the thing as well.
Yeah, seeing that on a table would be insane.
Yeah, very cool.
We've had another one about Dread Armada rules, but I think we've already answered a Dread Armada rules question. I think we already answered that question. Yeah, so we'll take a few more. If anyone's got any burning questions.
Very good.
Nicely done.
You see that? Yeah,
Sounds good,
yeah.
sounds
Come
good.
on. It's pun for the whole family.
Great.
It's that longest stream. Oh, but actually, the Black Friday stream was incredibly long, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, this is outside of that. It's been our longest kind of preview stream we've done, which is kind of cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Did Arsenal sign anyone? Does anyone know?
Did Arsenal sign anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Saint Fernandez.
Oh,
You're asking
Fernando.
the UK lot now because it's like 1 a.m. was it or 12
yeah,
a.m.
fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, we've got one about how the Men Off Army bundle will work. I don't know what capacity they mean it would work,
Sure.
but we could like put some more energy onto the.
Yeah, so the
shipping?
split shows probably about the shipping of it. So
Yeah.
if you pre-order bundled, I'll talk direct about the ones from warmachine.gg. If you buy it from our website, then what you'll get is a free shipping, split shipping essentially. So you'll buy the bundle and then we will ship each piece of the bundle as it releases on the release day. Simple as that. So nice and easy. And the pre-order bonus, the Gifts of Men off, will be with your first shipment, so you get that.
And it simply helps us really manage like the production and make
Everything.
sure we're making enough models so
Yeah.
people don't feel like they're going to miss out.
Yeah, it's really helpful for production management. It helps for demand scaling and helps our retail partners as well grow their piece as well. So it's just generally, and again, one of the big feedback points we had was, I want to see the whole army. I want to see the whole thing before I invest into an army.
Right.
It's, you know, it's quite a big decision to get an army. So hopefully this is giving people that option.
And that way you get lovely bunches of serotonin throughout the rest of the year and
coming.
into 2027.
Absolutely.
Told you. We've got another great question, which is I mean, again, Matt, for the spoiler alert, is there any more plans to bring any more legend armies back to become principal?
Yes, there 100% is.
Just look directly into the camera and say it.
There is. I mean, we would be crazy not to.
Yeah.
And there are, and I use that phrase so many times, it's almost a little bit tired. But the challenge that we have is our love for Warmachine goes back so far, and there's so many things that we want to bring back. And when we talk to people and they get psyched and excited, it makes us even more psyched and excited to do it. But we have to make sure we're doing it carefully. We're adding things, you know, in a controlled fashion. We want to make sure we understand what the meta is and we're not letting that get away from ourselves. So it's definitely a patience, but God, I'm so impatient. So yeah.
And they have to fit into the world as well. We can't just drop an army in, without any sort of context to what's happening in the wider world of Warmachine. That's important to us as well.
Yeah.
And on that note, will the Avatar make a comeback? Burning question. Star burning.
So I think when we showed off the first or the new raft of Super Heavies last year at Lock and Load, we said they were from the Apotheosis book, which was Behemoth, that was Thunderhead, and there was Deathjack.
Correct.
There's one very notable character missing from that lineup, I feel. If people are keeping track of that.
Gonna cut the stream now.
Oh, they're cutting the stream now.
They're cutting the stream.
China finally called us.
Confirms
You've gone too far. You've gone too far.
We're not. No, we're not.
I will.
We've had enough China spoilers.
She will
She's only got
carry
one
on.
in her first stream,
Yeah.
so that's it. I mean,
That's a nice ending point.
yeah, I mean that's a great ending point.
Yeah, threaten to
Yeah. If you say anything more,
Well,
the stream's
yeah.
being cut.
If you don't hear from me in a few hours, then someone call the police.
Blink in Morse code if you're in danger.
Wait a second. The stream suddenly when the stream ends, that's Avatar confirmed. Surely. Now I've got you.
The stress vein is full of
That would have worked if she hadn't already cut the stream a little while ago.
We're just talking to thin air right now. Right, on that bombshell.
Let's do it.
Honestly, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, for stopping by, for giving us your precious time, because we understand that is one of the most precious commodities in modern day. Matt, Sherwin, Fraser, Jamie, Rich, it's been amazing. Thank you guys so
Good
much.
fun.
You've been
Thank you.
amazing,
Thank
every
you.
single one of you. And to China for being
China,
incredible.
for setting it all
And China spoiler.
Yeah.
We saw it.
Unbelievable.
We never thought we'd see it. But other than that, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.